and Tannen on
Yeah,
the bench here. How's it going, guys?
I'm doing great. Tenant's
Great.
actually a guest caster like Forsten was. You'll be as good, right?
I don't think I can live up to the Forsen name. I don't know about that.
Yeah, is it Cloud9 or Cloud9?
I think it's Cloud9, but
All
I
right.
could be incorrect. So
Yeah, you probably
Yep.
are.
Yeah, it's up to interpretation.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have Tempo Storm and Nihilum match coming up for you guys. It is the losers match. The two losers from yesterday are playing, and the winner of this match will be playing the loser of the match we just saw. They'll be playing against Valley Town
Right.
for the second seed. Tomorrow is going to be the finals. Tomorrow we'll have the third and fourth seed open up in their first game. They will then play, the winner will then play against the second seed, which we'll find out at the end of today. And the winner of that will be in the final against Cloud9, which has advanced. They are the first seed. They are 2-0.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on. That's what we've been leading up to. And, this if you lose this match, it's not too big of a deal, but it's good to win. If you win here and then you win again, you basically get a free win where it really,
Yeah,
really
guaranteed,
counts.
pretty much.
I mean, Hearthstone's a game where there's a lot of random elements, and you just do your absolute best. And this is another one of those times. If you lose, you can still come out and win the tournament, but you do want all the little advantages that you can sum up into your side.
Yeah, and also, Cloud9's guaranteed prize money. So at this stage, they're very safe. And everybody's kind of competing for that third place, at least.
I think they're competing for first
For first place, yeah. But the Cloud9
place.
is very safe right now. They're feeling super happy. I mean, Ecop was flipping a Hearthstone pillow during the boss. So, I mean,
Yeah, he was really excited. You guys
Yeah.
saw him there.
yeah, I don't know why he'd be excited. I mean,
Yeah, it's only like up to $150,000 for first place.
I mean,
I mean,
it's like one dinner.
yeah,
Yeah, you're good to go with that, right?
yeah, it's not even that much.
So before we move on to the next game, Temple Storm versus Nihilum.
Mhm.
Some people said Temple Storm might have a little bit of trouble. Some people hedge their bets, on Nihilum or against
See.
Temple Storm. But I think Cloud9 believes that Nihilum overall has brought weird lineups yesterday, and because of that reason, they might struggle a little bit. Before we move on to the match, though, a little shout out to the sponsor. We got Amazon App Store, of course. You can check them out at amazon.com/Hearthstone and Alpha Draft as well if you want to draft your fantasy league for ATLC. Check them out on alphadraft.com.
Yeah, we're also running a little bit of a cool promotion. You guys saw in the clips earlier during the break that some of the Cloud9 players, some of the other players were signing some shirts.
Yeah.
Those are some Alpha Draft shirts. I believe there are 8 of them, and we're giving them away through Twitter. All you have to do is go to Archon's Twitter and just tell us something about your favorite player. Just say who it is, say something cool. So far, my favorite player has been Murloc Knight. That counts, right?
Great player,
Oh,
right?
that counts. Yes. Cloud9 Murloc Knight.
What's his name? Give him a name. You have to give him a name.
Oh, I don't know. I'll think about that.
I would have given him Burgle, but now that it's a card, I think it doesn't fit anymore. It can't be Burgle and Murloc Knight. Do you have an idea?
All right.
just old Merc guy. Just give him the name of what won the game for him.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right.
Pretty good stuff. All right, let's move on. Let's see what the teams brought again. Again, the players were not able to change their deck at this stage in the tournament. We are still in the seeding stage as we
Right.
started yesterday. Both these teams lost their opening games yesterday. That's why they're here in the losers match. And again, they're playing the exact same decks, but tomorrow they will be able to bring decks. So possibly the teams that didn't go so well, maybe they'll really work hard to maybe have a little bit better lineup. From what we see that Nihilum has been the only deck to not include Hunter. I believe in one of the weeks they didn't include Warrior. So they've been really out there with some of these decisions.
I blame RDU. I mean, RDU is a great, RDU overanalyzes things based on what Thijs told me that, RDU likes to analyze the matchup. He actually prides himself on getting it right. But sometimes it doesn't work out. I mean, the Mech Shaman we saw yesterday just completely got demolished. Had a chance to win, went all in on some of the plays, but it's still a debatable pick not to bring a Hunter, because even if you don't try to target a specific class, it's still got a pretty good chance against the entire field.
All right, well, when you have a bad deck in Conquest, the best thing to do is just to start with it, hope it randomly queues into something you could just crush. So I believe I really, really approve of this strategy for RDU to open with Shaman for Nihilum. One thing to remember again, that RDU as well as Eloise from Tempo Storm, they weren't able to make the event. And because of that, they are playing a bit remotely, which is why the players have slightly different backgrounds.
All right, so we have Mech Shaman again from RDU who's going to try to brute force a win here. Have you seen a lot of it? I mean, in the past, I think we've seen it last time we casted together. I think this was a Mech Shaman still after
Yeah.
TGT.
Yeah, you still see it. I mean, it's one of those decks I think people try to get free wins with. You feel that, as Trippett said, it's not one of the best decks in Conquest, but you feel that you can kind of steal some wins from some different decks. How do you feel that this matchup goes? The Dragon Priest versus it.
I have to assume Mech Shaman would have a little bit of a rough time because like they want to win the board against Priest. Typically, you can do it, but I think baseline control Priest would ruin Shaman. I think that hasn't changed much.
Oh, there it is!
Oh my God, the
other
crazy
dragon.
top deck. I was gonna say
Easy game.
Yeah, that's it. All right, good
That's
game.
not it, but it's looking pretty bad here.
Oh well, that helps a bit.
Is a good answer, but Garage is going to keep dropping threats here. If he didn't get that dragon, it's not like he had to play it anyway because he knows it's Mech Shaman.
Mm-hmm.
So because it's 2/3, you feel confident, but then you guarantee the taunt.
Yeah.
The following turn, which is very, very nice.
Yeah, there's a bit of a dry turn for RDU. I mean, he can play Mech Warper, but the thing is, you get worried about Velen's Chosen, of course. But you kind of can't play around it, right? Because you can't beat it.
Yeah, you can't do too much.
Yeah, I mean, he has to get some development on the board here. I mean, this Piloted Shredder is going to be able to check a lot of the minions. It's going to be coming out of the Priest deck here, but he has to get something going.
Chillmaw.
Yeah, that's pretty convenient for like the late game stage because Shaman might still be trying to get a board. If you can control the early game, you typically get ahead, but it can still slip out of your hands.
Oh, I don't know if I like that attack. I feel like you just set up the trade here.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving him a Shredder in this exact case, so it's going to work out pretty well for RDU.
Anyway, right? But if you don't attack, you
don't lose the 2/4 right away.
Right.
Yeah.
So you stop the Shredder twice.
You do play around Flame Tongue, however.
Yeah, but if you Flame Tongues here, do you really care? Only if you get a Neutron as well.
Yeah, so you'd have to coin out a Neutron and Flame Tongue. Oh, that's a bit tricky, actually. Yeah,
Light Bomb might be nice. I think the main issue that Priest has is they have to win the early game because the Dragon Priest these days, they have like some of the Priest cards that control the board. They have the creatures that are very strong at controlling the board. But what they don't have compared to traditional Priest decks is like burst healing. Like once you've taken like 20 damage or something,
that's it.
Your opponent's just going to get Lava Burst and Craft. You're going to die.
Yeah. You don't play Healbot, right?
Right, and one good thing for RDU here, he's actually regaining the board here because Gara didn't actually do anything on turn 4 besides push a little bit of damage. No hero power, no actual card played. So getting back in the game here for Mech Shaman, this might be a little bit of a closer and more of a competitive game than we thought to begin with.
Yeah, the Earth Shock was probably pretty important for RDU early on. Being able to deny the Whelp. He could have used a Rock Biter to handle it.
I believe he's thinking about playing the Drake here to follow up with Light Bomb that would clear the board. If he plays the Death, he's probably going to have to Light Bomb next turn anyway.
Yeah.
And he's never really going to get a chance to play the Drake.
And you might force RDU into a position of trading the Shredder away. Is there a reason why RDU would do that?
I don't know if you
maybe you
really
don't.
saw yesterday's games, but
Yeah.
RDU's not familiar with the trading concept.
Yeah, he went upstairs with all of his cards very early, and he vehemently defended his plays as well on Twitter.
I read that wall of text. When you look at it from his perspective, I think it actually made sense, the plays that he makes. But every time I see him play Shaman, he's one of the most all-in players with the deck. With Mech Shaman specifically. I rarely see him make trades, whereas like a player like Osaka plays the same deck in a much more defensive and slow way.
Yeah, every time I've seen Osaka play, you see him take some weird lines where I might not get it right away, and then 2 or 3 turns later I realize, oh yeah, his play is actually just better. But RDU plays it the way that almost everyone else does, where the deck seems so all in. Why wouldn't you play it that way? Just move in whenever chance you get.
I think the initial design of the deck was also tailored for that in a way. Alright, so Gara's gonna get a semi-decent Light Bomb. I mean, he's gonna kill, 1 minion and spawn 2 more.
Yeah, but those 2 might suck.
Yep.
And one does.
And the other one does. Well, the Power Mace is actually not too bad here, right? You can bluff on that guy.
Yeah, he's still got a mech on board here, so there's a chance he gets a little value here from it.
Ooh, spell damage.
It is kind of bad, actually, because...
4/4?
Oh, no, actually, the Rock Biter can kill Chillmaw.
Yeah.
And the Death Rattle of the Mace would trigger before the Death Rattle of Chillmaw. So the Mech Bear Cub would actually survive.
And hit for 4.
Yes.
Which, I mean, again, Gar still has the answer to that with the Twilight Guardian. But he's got a lot of, there's a lot of burst damage in RDU's hand, right? Like another Crackle, another Lava Burst might seal it in a weird way.
I mean, yeah.
Not a very weird way. Very standard way for this deck, actually.
Yeah, I mean, RDU
the
has
weird part would be just sealing the game at all.
Right,
We
against the
haven't really
priest.
seen that yet in the tournament.
Oh man, shots fired.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Yeah, in all of my casting, I haven't seen this deck do very well. I mean, I think it's got
Yeah.
something like a 20% win percentage in the games
Actually, I
that I
think it's
cast.
done pretty well in this tournament.
Right.
Because before TGT, a lot more the combo classes are much more volatile. Like people are playing Freeze Mage, and this is stealing some wins. He wants to utilize the spell damage that's
Yeah.
going to be removed off the board.
I think it
That's
makes a
smart.
lot. Oh, top roll to compensate for yesterday's laurel. You gotta average out the variance sometimes.
And Gara didn't like that either.
Oh, I don't know.
He's
if
gonna
I
try to get his spider tank up instead of using the rock biter. Because I mean, he does run two
Whoa.
doom hammers. We saw that yesterday. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, maybe he's holding on to Rockbiter as a burn spell
Well,
here.
why didn't he just play the spider tank there?
Shadow Word Death, Nova maybe, because
But
it would
he already got Shadow Word Death, and it wouldn't be a Nova.
it
range.
would
It'd
have 3 health. Yeah, it would actually live through that.
Yeah, maybe just playing around exactly
The Twilight
the second
Guard.
Shadow Word Death
I'll
here.
read Reddit later. RD will tell me. There was some strategic.
I mean, I think it makes sense if you think about the Twilight Guardian as one of the possible follow-ups. It would live. But... Wow, that's rough.
Yeah, RDU's in a rough spot here because he's not going to be able to attack probably for the rest of this game now. It's going to be really hard for him to get to this Twilight Guardian.
Right.
Unless he draws his last remaining Earth Shock.
Doomhammer, right? Face tanks 10 and just go to town.
Yeah, I guess the Doomhammer Rockbiter will get through it also, but
I
he's got
think
to
he was
find
running 2 Rockbiter.
Yeah, 2 Doomhammers, yeah. I think he was banking on that as the reason he kept with the Rock Biter instead of killing Chilma with it. Because it's actually a huge chunk. It's a good, like, it's one of the major reasons.
For more
we
damage
win.
and had more board though. I don't understand. I don't understand what.
Yeah, why
thinking
you win?
behind saving the Rockbiter was.
Yeah, and every turn that he doesn't find one of these answers now, Gara, you have to believe he's going to hero power himself every turn for the rest of the game. He's going to almost never forego that from here.
Right.
Yeah, because you can play minions. As long as he keeps playing minions on the board and he doesn't need to just heal the minions up to keep up with the Shaman, he can just, heal himself, play a Drake, then maybe find another Guardian, play that. So, yeah, looking pretty good for Gara still. Not impossible.
You can use both cards to kill that thing and lose your board, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you probably just lose the game from there because you just have
Right.
nothing left.
Holy Nova would seal this completely. Oh, well, that kind of does too in a weird way.
Now, is there ever a world where you just double up on Valen's Chosen here, or do you just have to play around the second Earth Shock?
I might be cautious about the Earth Shocks, and I guess the Whelp would die, but it doesn't have taunts, so you're okay if it gets Earth
Yeah,
Shock.
I think you, as your Drake, see what you get, and do you actually set up for lethal if you hit for? Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
You set
for next
lethal.
turn, yeah.
So you can Velen's Chosen the Drake.
But Earth Shock and you
push
think
for
you
lethal.
die though, right?
Yeah, I mean, RDU's had multiple of these
Yeah,
cards
it's
in
not.
hand.
The thing is, he's holding 2 cards. Those cards are probably spells. If he draws a third one, you're probably dead anyway.
Yeah, Will of Bolt.
So you have to really it might not be the best idea to do that, but you have to consider the fact that if you just stall out the game and heal for 2 every turn, you probably just lose that way as well. You might even lose next turn or next 2 turns.
I don't mind kill the spell damage totem or the Zap-O-Matic, depending. Like you can kill the two mechs really if you wanted. Alright, so he's gonna keep alright, so remove the spell damage. There's a 33% chance it comes
Okay,
back.
it's kind of like a compromise play.
Yeah.
Just get that heal every time. Power Mace. Well, how would you like to take 7 damage?
Well, you can actually go ahead use that and Lava Burst to kill a big Drake, right? Like that allows you to go through.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that he just has to do at this point, right? I mean, he can't just
Yeah.
sit around and wait for, hopefully top decks and Gara not have anything for the next couple
He has to
turns.
use that.
Yeah, there's no way he doesn't. Alright, RDU's just gonna go all in to kill 1 minion and 2 Valen's Chosen. So it's like it's kind of okay though, because the Spider Tank lives in theory, right? In theory.
I think some players even trade here, but I don't think RDU would consider that.
Trading? No, I don't think RDU considers
No, we don't do
trading.
that.
It's not a viable approach. Would you kill the Whelp just because you get healed and you're out of Nova range anyway?
The only reason to kill a Whelp is Holy Nova and Velen's later on or something. But
It's already been used, right? Velens have already been used,
To
both of
protect
them.
your 1/1. What?
Yeah, you want to get, all that spell damage value.
Okay.
Holy Nova. Oh my god, the Drake Nova turn for Gara. That's gonna seal it.
Yeah, it's gonna be-
It looks pretty sealed, but
It's still
really know.
possible, right?
Yeah.
RDU looks devastated. My apologies. Oh, Gara knows that RDU is a tilt-prone player. Gara's got the BM tactics. I like this.
Your opponent's at 16. You're completely out of cards. You're dead in 3 turns. You're probably dead in 2 turns.
You have
So
to
how
try
much
to kill the
damage can you do in
Drake.
2
Because if you
turns?
pick up a Doom Hammer, you might actually be able to race. You have another Rock Biter. So
Well, okay, let's talk about that. So if you pick up a Doomhammer, the most damage you could do right now is Spell Damage Totem Crackle for 7. You could do 10 this turn, which means you need to do 8 next turn to steal the game, which means you won't. So you have 0% chance to win if you do that. So I think you actually have to Crackle the Drake.
yeah, right. You crackle the Drake, you go face for 3, and then or you wait for a mech. I guess you could try, but then Doom Hammer
That's
doesn't
what he's
come
thinking
up.
about. I think he's thinking about how many mechs he has in his deck and if it's actually worth saving this attack versus drawing another weapon.
Yeah, and how likely it is that the Crackle just does what it did yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he's already been through quite a few mechs as well.
Oh, this is it. Yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah, sly grin on RDU's face there. He's got to be feeling it after those last couple turns.
Yeah, you can't feel good about this.
And you say it here.
Yeah,
No threats anymore.
I mean you could heal yourself for BM purposes, like until the end of the game, until he fatigues. But what's the point?
Awakens?
Oh, what happened? Oh, no, that's Dream. Oh, RD doesn't want to.
RD decides he's done with this weird form of torture,
Yeah.
which is Dragon Priest. So he's going to throw in the towel. Tempest Storm picks up the first point, and of course Gar is playing against the chair because RD is playing from home right now.
Yeah, RD is a chair actually.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty interesting. Again, we have not seen the Shaman win a game in the finals of ATLC yet. But yeah, I don't really blame RDU for bringing the deck. I think it's a pretty good deck. It targets certain other decks.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to work against what most people brought to this finals, but I also admire the strategy of throwing it out there at the start.
Why do you think it's having such a problem winning, even a single game here so far in the finals?
I think it's 0-5.
Yeah, why do you think that's like? It keeps running into these decks that are being able to fight for the board so early.
Druid's just a lot stronger with the Darnassus and the fact that some of them are using earlier board control cards. Like, it used to just completely run over Druid. We haven't seen a Freeze Mage yet in the finals. I think that's actually a bit of a surprise because the deck does pretty well against some of the new decks. So I mean, some of the decks that it was really targeting are just not there anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, Secret Paladin also has a pretty okay matchup because they get the early board, you're never getting them off of it, and they snowball.
Yeah.
You don't play Storm.
Right.
So there's like a billion ways for you to just lose it. I don't really know. I mean, I guess against Patron, it's all right because they don't armor up as much as Control, but they just have to get a one swing turn and you're kind of out of it. So
you do always have like the God draw that you basically beat anything with, but RDU has not received that hand yet.
yeah.
Out of the lineups, I believe Life Coach is playing just straight up Mech Mage. So
And,
again,
yeah.
not Freeze Mage, but Eloise has her Mage, and she is, I believe, the only player to have a deck that has not been revealed yet. It's the only secret tech of the tournament that's left. And if Tempest Storm loses, it might remain a secret, but we'll see. Hopefully not. I'm actually really curious what that is. Eloise is traditionally a Freeze Mage player, but Tempest Storm as a team is a player that very frequently brings very new, very cutting edge decks.
Mage, especially Mage decks. I've seen like most of the new Mage decks that we see end up coming from, at least not necessarily from them, but they do iterate on them and bring the tournaments fairly frequently. So it's kind of nice to see. Maybe another variant. I don't know if you can see Control Mage nowadays, if it would be viable at all.
I don't know.
It's all a bit
I haven't had too much of an experience with that, but
yeah.
There's always some group of people that live and die by a certain deck, and that has received some praise.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah, a lot of the new Mage decks have been kind of going back to that Tempo Mage thing with Flamewaker being so good against all the Paladin decks and stuff nowadays. They feel that deck has much better matchups now since, everybody's going to be playing Secret Paladin.
Yeah, we talked about that a bit. Actually, some of the Mech Mages even run the Flamewaker. It's like a Mech Tempo Mage.
It's like a hybrid, right? The spare parts work super well with Flamewaker, so you just slap it in.
They do.
It's going to work pretty nicely.
All right. Well, now that Gara has picked up a win, I don't think really the bench rules really does much against RDU. So I don't know. I wouldn't even mind RDU trying again with the Shaman.
Just brute force it. Eventually, you get a win, and then
No, eventually you can just get benched.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no eventually in this format.
Just get it over quick. Either get the quick win out of the way or get the quick 0-2 out of the way and not have to worry about it anymore.
I just wonder how RDU will land on the bench at this house. Maybe we need like a virtual bench.
They had a drawing of him on a piece of paper of him like a little cry face, and they put him on the bench yesterday.
Okay.
Oh my god, that is so
Well, that might do
cringy.
the trick.
It's so awesome. If RDU goes Shaman again and gets demolished, I think he will feel demolished. Like after the 0-5 from yesterday, because you have to keep in mind, right? The team league format, you're a reason why the team performs.
Right.
You know, and the thing is, he has suffered in the past, like from being kind of the losing player. I think one of the earlier weeks or the mid weeks of
losing
Nihilum.
player, but he was that player that he get like 50-60% win rate, which is still good in this tournament.
Right.
But he would do it in the last few games
Always.
of one of the sets, and he was doing that consistently. That's why Nihilum literally was like by far
The first.
The best team in the Archon Team League at the start. He was the reason they were so good, because all the teams would get like 4 wins. Then the other team would come back and actually win against them. But RDE was just like sealing out each of those matches. These days he's still playing the same stuff, but maybe the game has changed against that strategy.
It's kind of weird, actually, that Mech Shaman just doesn't work anymore. I wonder, like, he plays Tuskar Totemics, right? He pointed that out yesterday.
Right.
Like
he had the double Tuskar Totemics.
Right.
We couldn't figure out what he took out, but it was probably like Fell Reavers or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, he did put Fireguard Destroyers, which is kind of the sub they usually put in instead of that. Oh, it's not the Mage. All right.
There's a Mage, though.
Yeah.
This is going to be Eloise on the aggressive Paladin, but this is, I think, the more tame version. Is this the one without Divine Favor with Tyrion?
I remember seeing a lot of
the
high
slower
curve.
Secret Paladin?
I remember a lot of high cure from Eloise.
Mm-hmm. I believe that was the case. And Life Coach is running just standard Mech Mage. So both of these decks are running very snowball type of effects, with the Paladin having a bit more comeback potential. If we do see the Paladin going off on a very powerful start, it'd probably be very difficult for the Mage to actually do anything.
Yeah, they don't really have any kind of like recover effect. They just have more minions that don't affect the board right away. Though Blast Mage can be pretty big and devastating in this matchup.
Yeah, Blast Mage is one of the key ways in which you just seal the board down, because it's pretty good. It's kind of like the juggler of Mech Mage in a way. Like, they don't play that card, obviously, because it doesn't fit in. But just because you can negate the entire board of the opponent. We saw a crazy Blast Mage yesterday from Life Coach against Dog. I think, like, popped a Shredder and just took the game right away. It was pretty devastating. But I don't know how good it is against Secret Pally, because sometimes you're forced into weird attacks. And you can't always kill the minion that gets buffed, for instance.
Yeah, it's just like it's one of the only cards it has that can affect a wide board
for
the Paladin. All their other cards are like 1-for-1s of Frostbolts and Fireballs, and that's not what you want to be doing in this matchup. You don't want to be like Frostbolting and Fireballing, say, a shielded minibot after taking its shield off.
That's really good, by the way.
Yeah. The nice hand from Eloise. I mean, I would say that she's a pretty good Paladin player, right? Just based on that hand.
Yeah, I mean, it just confirms.
Repentance.
Yeah, negate that. You can use muster, I guess, in a cool way.
Repentance just stops some mech warper shenanigans, I guess.
Yeah, like, I mean, you would have to play Shield Minibot into it, and then you'd be able to kill whatever comes out.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe the Shield Minibot is a reason. If no minion is played, then you can juggle and hope the juggler kills whatever comes out next through the muster, or use that weapon if everything fails. So it kind of makes sense.
What's interesting is Life Coach actually dropped the Cogmaster.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, do you expect it to kill like a minibot? Expect it to kill a juggler? Juggler might work against it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it seems good against some draws and bad against a lot of other ones. So I think he just wants more consistent cards, maybe.
I mean, he had Cogmaster with the Snow Chugger, though. Like, that's a good one into it, too.
Minibot hits. The thing is,
you literally only get punished by Minibot.
Yeah, but you get punished so harshly by it that maybe there's no recovery after it. Because he has a 2/2, you can't ping this to death most of the time, and then you really need to have a great follow-up to seal it.
How do you like Life Coach coining out the Snow Chugger here? You know, kind of giving up.
Really aggressive, but I think he knows what he's playing against, and he needs to be ahead throughout most of the game to actually be able to win. So I think I approve.
Yeah, killing this gives your opponent...
I think he actually has to kill it because a lot of Secret Paladin decks run Argent Protector, and he can't really afford to lose more of his board right now.
He's going to force the opponent to make a trade, but what about Noble Sack and Juggler? With that? No, you could always Frostbolt the Juggle if needed. I mean, you could freeze him. That's not necessarily a bad idea.
This right now, like I don't think we actually saw Argent Protector from Eloise's Paladin yesterday, but it is very common in the Secret Paladin.
In the more aggressive ones, yeah. Like in the initial list that Paladin used to run, I think when TGT came out, Argent Protector was just about everywhere. But the more mid-rangey it becomes, the less frequent it is.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely see it in like the more aggressive ones that are fighting for the board a little bit earlier, and it'd be like really good in matchups like this. So if it were to show up,
I believe that ends up being the correct decision there.
Definitely, yeah. You get an extra 2 damage, and
yeah, that extra 2 damage, like if you have this mindset, by the end of the game turns out to be like an extra 7 damage, and usually playing this type of mage deck ends up being the only way you win.
Yeah, at least there's not much healing in the Paladin deck. So from Life Coach's perspective, he's gonna force a trade. Eloise might want to play the muster. If the juggler's played, there's a little bit of a punish with a Frostbolt. But there's still a Shredder follow-up.
Because if it does die to a removal, Life Coach can't play anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really like Juggler here as well. I mean, like you said, if you get punished, you almost get to like Time Walk Eloise, because, I mean, I'm sorry, you get to, Time Walk here and then get initiative back. Plus, if they just play a minion, then you get to, either Shredder or Muster for Battle behind this.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like Life Coach values the potential kill on the Juggler. I mean, you can defend it, because if the Juggles hit perfectly, then you get punished really hard.
This is a 1 out of 8, so I wouldn't. Okay, it's a good start.
Here we go.
Oh boy.
50-50. Oh. Whew. You still just...
You still trade because of Goblin Blast Mage.
You can't let it just take off all the 1/1s. Alright. That could have been a lot more disastrous than it was.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess No Trigger Ping looks fine. If he'd have to trade the 2 1/1s or get a Choose Over Champion, a King's maybe, but he would freeze a minion, and then you could Frostbolt afterwards.
Yeah, it's just the problem with these plays are it's not getting you super far back into this game. I mean, Eloise is going to continue to have initiative for the next couple turns. She's going to scale so well against these boards.
I mean, I think Snow Trigger Ping is kind of okay, because if True Silver's played, you can then ping and play maybe Mirror Entity. I don't know. If you expect more the mid-range style Paladin to be played. Or Spider Tank, you could play that into the second True Silver charge. But
yes, Spider Tank gets True Silver, he gets like Kings and stuff. I think Mirror Entity is the only alternative to Snow Trigger.
So you'd play Mirror Entity here and let the Paladin give you a lot, like a really good card?
Well, you're behind, you need to take some risk. The Paladin's only on 3 cards, and you've seen the Paladin hasn't been able to fill up these curves. So you've seen that he hasn't had 1 drops. It's had very poor 2 drops.
Right. All right. Well, it looks like Eloise is not going to be able to answer the Spider Tank from Life Coach, and it's also posing a threat, right? Like the worry.
Kill it with 3 dudes if you want.
Yeah, but the worry of Blast Mage forcing you to trade into it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Which is kind of what Life Coach is banking on. He's going to control the board by forcing Eloise to be afraid, basically.
I kind of like just the Loatheb play, and I would probably just trade here.
And Loatheb?
Yeah, I mean the Mech Mage, it has a lot of minions, but still really not that many. It doesn't have like an endless supply of mechs. So if you just keep denying the mech, it makes Goblin Blast Mage and Tinkertown Technician really bad. I
kind of like Shredder Noble Sack, because turn 6 you might get another secret with Loatheb, and then turn 7 is Dr. Balanced, so you can probably get away with curving secrets and Loatheb on 6.
I don't think she's running that many secrets, though. I believe when she did play a Mysterious Challenger, it only drew 3 yesterday.
That was RDU, I think.
Was it RDU?
Yeah, he played a very smaller array of secrets.
All right. Well, here we are. Life Coach's side again. Another tough turn.
Oh, man. That's like... Every single turn he's been in has been to answer the threats from Eloise.
Oh, the Frostbolt seems like a pretty decent answer here, at least. If Eloise gets like something really bad out of it, it might just work out fine.
Yeah, you might be able to get some value out of your Snow Trigger.
Yeah, but what about Redemption? Aren't you super scared that Redemption is the secret? Because I wouldn't want to give another Shredder to my opponent, right? Like, it would be so scary.
Well, Life Coach agrees here.
Yeah. It almost telegraphs it. It feels like a telegraph. Oh, the curve here. That's insane.
That is really good. And that also really punishes the Mirror Entity. That's an incredible draw, actually.
Yeah. Doesn't get much better for Eloise. And Life Coach is going to be locked out of the Frostbolt. So.
Actually, I think it just doesn't get better at all.
Yeah, there's no way there's a better
There is no better card.
No, it was the best card.
I mean, look at the follow-up.
Best draw possible.
Oh, man.
All right. Yeah, Life Coach is like his last mech is the Annoyantron. So he is absolutely struggling. He really needs tempo, so I'd imagine that he's going to leave the Shredder just frozen. But then that denies the Dr. Boom, so maybe not. Yeah. He has the Dr. Boom next turn to start winning the game.
Right. You might... Yeah, do you ping the Shredder? That's the question, really. Or the 1/1 for Blast Mage and Oyotron turn in the future? What do you think?
Well, I mean, if you're going to do it, you ping the Shredder first before you do
Yeah.
anything else just to see what comes out. Because, yeah, I mean, if you get lucky and a Doomsayer comes out here, then you don't waste a card.
Doomsayer.
Yeah, if you ping and get Mana Wraith, you're okay. If you get Narrow Bar, you're okay. So, yeah, you're
Narrow Bar would actually be a problem for Boom.
problem for Boom, but not your turn here.
Yeah, right. Not this exact turn. Alright, the shield's off.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty good turn for Eloise
yeah,
again.
Yeah, it really is. I think the 1/1 goes to Divine Shield. Loatheb kills that. Oh no,
You could
forget
just
it.
the weapon.
Just play the
right?
Boom.
Yeah, just like throw the Boom, kill Loatheb, and
It's
then
boom
you just
time.
yeah.
Yeah, you just did
I was
9.
trying some cute play with Coffin Hammer.
Yeah,
Just like modify the weapon. Yeah, turn 7, Dr. Boom. It's like
Not worth it.
There's
Yeah.
a couple of cute things you can do there, but you just keep denying the mechs and
Oh, yeah,
cards
no
like
mech.
Dolphin Blast Mage. Yeah.
Where's an Oyotron now?
It's been the plan the whole game. You just keep to it. Just no mechs on Life Coach's side and no recoverability from him. I mean, because he can play Boom here, but I mean, what does that really accomplish? You're just so far behind now.
Yeah.
Oh, Doomsayer might be nice here.
Might, yeah.
Just a little bit.
I think you make that attack, but if you do get punished by Mana Wraith and Narrow Bar.
I think you just like have to kind of go for it because like if you do get punished by Mana Wraith and Urbar, like were you going to win this game anyway? You know, were you going to recover from
you
here?
could throw Boom first because you always have the Archmage on the backup as another 7 drop you can do on the following turn if it dies to Doomsayer. Let's say, right? Like
Another relevant one might be the Explosive Sheep.
Unstable
If you do get
Ghoul, Explosive Sheep. Yeah, there's a lot
If
of.
you get Explosive Sheep, you can ping the sheep and Frostbolt the Loatheb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
There's like 4 outs, like 3 to 4 outs maybe. Oh wow.
Feels needs the face damage.
Is that 3 damage? I mean, how afraid is always going to be of that? He's forcing a trade at least, probably. Let's roll the dice. There we go.
Well,
Do it!
There are a lot of numbers on this dice.
Yeah, there's a lot of of possibilities for this
The
to go.
random element
it's
of this turn
insane.
is a little high.
Yeah.
You
What are
you
we
have
looking
4
for?
boombots and a shredder.
We're looking for a boombot that pops a shredder and actually pops a sheep that actually dies to the boombot number 2.
What we're really
Does that
looking for
matter?
is to land that Divine Shield on the Doctor Boom. That's what we're really looking for.
Yeah, do you make any attacks first though? Like just to kind of see where the boombots and stuff start going before you Coghammer to make sure that you have the taunt and the Divine Shield at the end of the turn?
Oh god.
And here we go. What is this? Oh,
It's trash.
that's underwhelming. What a waste of a possible, mind-blowing opportunity.
Okay. He knows the Loatheb is gonna die, so that's good. I don't know if the Doctor Boom is gonna die. That seems.
Well, I mean, what else are you gonna kill with it, right? Oh,
Oh wow.
yeah, Dr. Boom died. Not that one, but.
If it's
Oh.
either one, it's good.
Great bombs here.
To say the least. Oh, well, that's
I think you want to play the Haunted Creeper here. I think it's good if it gets hit. 3 to face though.
Doesn't matter.
All right. Well,
A mech or bust with perfect hits, and even that, like 2-drop mech plus frostbolt.
nope.
Yeah.
He has to Frostbolt Doctor Boom not to die here, I believe.
Yeah, that looks about right. Life coach looks like he's a little stressed. I don't know. Maybe he's just enjoying the mustache.
I don't know how. Like, if you do that, how do you win? You don't. You just don't.
Yeah, but how do you win anyway, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm
you
looking
just
at this
don't.
and you're pretty much dead. So
I think Life Coach is just looking for any chance for him to actually be able to win this game, and I think he's going to fail to find one because I can't.
I can't.
imagine.
Okay, so if you can't, nobody can.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's a possible way the Life Coach can actually win this game. I mean, he can elongate it by a turn or 2 here, but I don't think there's a sequence of cards.
It would basically involve the Loatheb killing the 3/3, top decking a mech, and getting ridiculous blast mage odds.
I mean, there's been.
It would have to involve Eloise not going face. That's
Yeah.
the only way he could win.
when she has a taunted up Divine Shield minion.
Yeah,
Right.
would you not
Against your
go
one
face?
minion, yeah. I mean, you have to believe she's going to go face with everything.
It might be a ping on. Does he run any AoE? I doubt it. Some decks have run an AoE, like some mechs even.
Yeah, you see every now and then that one Miser's,
Yeah.
Flame Strike in these decks.
Right. Oh.
Okay.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Okay.
That won't matter. Yeah, Eloise stands in the light. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, there's no way that she's getting
You
thrown
don't
out
have to
this
put
game.
much of your faith in this one.
No,
It's just, you don't have to believe that much. It's good.
I hate Faith anyway.
All right. Well, a mech does come down, but I don't believe it matters at all. No.
Might as well hit.
I mean, let's say you clear this board, you're still dead. Let's just say you did
Yeah,
that.
I mean the Ashbringer still kills you. Doesn't matter.
That's terrible.
Crazy Blast Mage. You see that?
That was 2 to face.
Yeah, that was good. Smork lessons.
Word.
Because it just kills the Dr. Boom too for value, you know, just to make sure you get it off the board. You don't want it there. You already took some damage from it. You got to pay it back a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people doubted Eloise in this tournament, notably Cloud9, I believe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as it turns out, I think her Paladin deck has cleaned up pretty nicely. I think she's played it terrifically. And, well, we haven't seen the Mage deck.
We're still waiting.
Yeah, it's not exactly her fault.
That's all I want to see is the mate. I mean, I'm guessing there's a lot of team discussions about what you're going to queue up.
Oh, there's a camera there.
Is there a camera? Is it cut? Is it cut? No. Okay. Can I? Yeah.
No, we'll just look at each other now.
Yeah. Intensely.
Really
oh
wide.
my goodness.
Wow.
I wouldn't like to be stared at like this. Oh god.
I wouldn't be surprised if her doing
Tice can handle it.
That's got the nerves. All right, that's never mind. It's a little friendly. It looks.
Then you start doing what the athletes do, where they cover up their mouths when they're talking to each other when the camera's on.
Oh, do
so
they?
you can't read their lips. Yeah, so they can still talk to each other.
All right.
I don't speak German English, so I can't really like read the lips.
Okay. Well, it's 2-0.
Yeah, and they're almost getting that perfect spread of like 1 win per team for Tempo Storm, which means they're not as
Hype
vulnerable
really
to.
doesn't care when he's playing, right? So he just,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, Hype just does whatever, right? Like he just goes with the Patron of the Druid.
I think there might be some strategy in actually sending Eloise's Mage, because Hyped has 2 decks that are just all
Pretty
around
good.
strong.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if like Gar's playing like kind of tweaked out Hunter list, and Hype just has 2 strong decks. So even if Eloise gets benched, they're totally fine.
Also, I mean, if you send out Eloise with the Mage deck, you said they don't know what it is.
They have no idea what to expect.
How do you queue up a deck specifically for that one as
Right.
well? So you get the surprise factor. So that might be a good idea.
I don't know, like how much of a surprise it's gonna be, right? Because like people, it's a big event. We've talked about this. Temple Storm is somewhat willing to risk sometimes, bringing decks that they've homebrewed, but it seems to be the general agreement, and I think you've noticed that too. That like the decks seem pretty standard. Like there hasn't been this crazy breakthrough in the meta.
Yeah, it's been most of the same stuff.
Yeah, so it's.
But maybe they're waiting for the final day, right?
Yeah, like just like pull out at the exact last moment, and
Who knows? There's still some hope. But yeah, I'm hoping that Eloise sends the Mage. I wouldn't put it past her to bring the Freeze Mage to the tournament. And honestly, I think there's a good chance RD's Shaman's coming out again.
Yeah, I mean he's now in like he can't be benched, right? So give it another shot.
Also, I think normally you'd assume that just Hype is playing because like everything's pretty good, and the Shaman does okay against Druid, is okay against Patron.
Yeah, that's like actually a good point. It's if the Mage comes out, you have no idea what to expect. Hunter, you can depending on the matchup, you might be able to win it.
Mech Shaman?
Yeah, it's a little rough. It's a little rough, admittedly.
It's pretty rough because sometimes with a Mech Shaman, you get that early push for damage, and then you can draw into like spell lethal. But the Hunter has that aggressive potential as well.
Yeah.
So you don't really have as many turns as you otherwise do.
He's got 3 lightning bolts, right? Decks. Like, how is that fair? So you can't compete.
Yeah.
I think if you send out Hyped, I think you just have to play Grim Patron here and hold Druid back as like your ace in the hole and try to get a really good matchup for it later. Most likely, I think that's a good way to play it here. So
it is Patron versus Mage again. Life Coach actually has an opportunity to get benched if he loses. I think the traditional Mech Mage does fairly well against Warrior, just pressures it out really, really hard in some situations. But you have to get that really strong early draw.
Yeah, their early minions match up really well against the weapons, the early weapons from Grim Patron, and Snowjugger can get you a ton of value. You can get it through, or even protect it with something like an Anoyatron, and you can just snowball to like pretty easy victories from there.
Yeah.
The other thing to consider though is that Hype is actually running a deck that's fairly well tuned against the more aggressive decks that we've been seeing recently. I believe Hype is playing Double Fire War Axe with Shield Slams in his Grim Patron.
Yeah, he has at least 1 Shield Slam in the deck for sure. I don't remember if he had 2.
No, I don't think so. I think most of the lists that end up including it is like a single one. Well, some experimentation, I guess, done with a double shield slam, but then you're kind of detracting from your ability to draw or to wipe the board more consistently. Stable Ghoul took a while before she became a staple.
They just realized they needed the 15th and 16th Whirlwind effect in their deck.
Yeah, exactly. Another one, right?
That one time the opponent has 70 life.
Yeah. Oh god.
I've seen people 74. I've seen people 74 someone with Frothing Berserkers before.
Yeah,
So.
I've cast the game in ATLC where 80 damage was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just get something done about this deck already, please?
No.
Cool.
It's a cool deck.
It's not running over the tournament right now.
Yeah. Everybody.
It seems unfair when the combo goes off, but set up the combo isn't like that easy. There's certainly like some complaint in terms of the philosophy of the deck compared to what Blizzard has said about their philosophy of the game. So I understand that aspect, but I think discounting that, I think the deck is pretty cool.
Like if you read exactly why they got rid of the Leroy Jenkins combo, it's exactly why you would get rid of the Grim Patron combo. It's the exact same thing.
Cogmaster turn 1, but then without a turn 2 mech, that's going to be a bit clunky, but it's not as though Hyped has any answer to it right away anyway. You might be able to pull off like a turn 3 Spider Tank and kill the Acolyte.
Man, Hype's hand is really bad, actually.
Yeah, it's not going to be amazing right now.
No, it's just really bad.
Wow. Well,
he has like no answers to anything, and his card draw is kind of situational.
Well, he's gonna be a little happy with the way this turn pans out. I mean, at least like Coach isn't. Yeah, if it's a Noyatron or Snowchugger here, you're in a very bad spot.
Oh, well, I guess you just coin out the Acolyte. What else can you do? The thing is, you're afraid of a turn 3 mech. You didn't see a turn 2/1, so you have to assume it's carrying up.
Acolyte, you have to put the inner rage.
In the inner rage on
you
it,
have nothing. Right?
Yeah, you have to draw.
Yeah. I think it might be that desperate. The thing is, in Grim Patron Warrior, you really never want to use your coin, but this is a bad matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those spots where you have to, weigh the options. Like, do I need to keep the combo pieces in my hand, or am I going to fall so far behind? Because you have to believe there's a Spider Tank coming next turn, right? There's no way.
Tinkertown.
The Light Coach just doesn't have something here that's going to be good on turn 3. You need to make some headway.
The other option is usually when you see the situation that your opponent's playing nothing in the early game. I think the fairest assumption is that you're getting fireballed pretty soon.
Yeah.
That's a great point. He might just think that his opponent's holding on to spells, and that is a little less worrisome. I mean, in this exact case, it's not as big a deal. But he helps to cycle 1 card. All right.
Alright. Yeah, he really just values that coin.
Yeah. So, Mech Warper, not really. Spider Tank, I mean, he dies at Coin Death's Bite, but you can always follow it up with a Shredder, which means that your Cogmaster would then stay alive. Unless there's like an inner rage on it after the AoE or some kind of cruel task.
You can just do quite a lot of damage overall.
Yeah.
This Frostbolt is going to be really good this game too, depending on how well. There we go. Let's say the Death Spite's going to be huge. If Hype were not to have drawn a weapon over the next turn or two, he could get really Life Coach can get really aggressive with Frostbolt to kind of freeze him a turn ahead of time, just to make sure he'll have enough to push through and make sure no patron shenanigans happen.
I think he is going to Frostbolt. I think he's going to play Frostbolt and Mech Warper into Paladin Shredder.
I think it makes a lot of sense. On the following turns with a Paladin Shredder, it's going to give him a pretty big opportunity to deny the patrons, though. Like if he keeps it for turn 5 that is instead. Really depends how much he values that.
I think Hype is so far behind that he'll have to use his weapon though. I think there's really an argument to be made.
That he'll just have to pop it anyway? Here. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Hype can actually wait.
Yeah, I mean, this Acolyte looks kind of okay. You have the Execute, I guess, if you wanted to just kill the... No, there's no way you execute that. It's horrible. Never mind.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Times,
yeah.
Desperate
I mean,
times.
now that you mentioned the Fireball is looking really threatening. If you assume your opponent's been pinned on spells early on.
Yeah, like can you really pass here?
Yeah. Assuming
your opponent will have Fireball. Because if you do a passive patron turn, you have to stay alive 2 more turns after this one for them to actually attack. There's no way that's happening if he has even 1 Fireball.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, you have to just incorporate, worst case scenarios too. You have to just believe that, Life Cup's going to either be able to fireball you or make this Cogmaster into 3 power again. Plus, a mech could just come out of this.
Noyatron.
Yeah, that's pretty crappy, actually.
Yeah, that's probably one of the worst cards that could have come. I mean, it's better than a Novice Engineer, granted, but
I think you still have to get rid of the smaller creature because it does represent 3 damage.
It might actually be worse than the Novice Engineer because it doesn't just die to the first Whirlwind. So if some Frothing Berserker thing happens, this thing actually has 3 toughness now.
Yeah, you're dead. That's right. Oh yeah, good point. Although I don't know how fast you expect Frothings to come out right now. Like in this exact case, it probably won't matter that much, but it could have at some point in the late game.
I mean, yeah, Warrior does have a tendency to make games drag out a lot longer than you think they would. So there's a chance it comes up.
Maybe Patron is actually like a dragon deck.
I really think there's an argument who made just Frostbolting face. I'm surprised Life Coach didn't do it last turn.
That's kind of weird. I mean, the Master Swordsmith could be fine. Do you Frostbolt this, though? Is that worth it? Or do you want to keep it for the face because you can deny a weapon plus...
Oh, no. I think you should Frostbolt face.
Yeah. Right now, yeah. You do, like, right now, you Frostbolt and Mech Warper.
Like, how is he going to charge and clear your board?
Yeah.
He's just not.
You can't even buy the power of Ragnaros. I have the power.
Alright, so he is going to use the Frostbolt to take care of the Acolyte of Pain here, denying some draws.
Cards,
Yeah, there have been 2 possible draws.
Getting Clockwork Gnome in play, kind of a big thing here too. Getting a spare part for Antonidas coming forward, just get these fireballs to hopefully finish the game off for a Life Coach.
Is Warsong Armorsmith into the Clockwork ever worth it? Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, in Execute, I don't see too... Like, you might want to Execute. I don't think you're dead next turn, though. You might want to take 1 more turn.
Well, there's a couple things about putting your Warsong into play now. I mean,
you have no follow-up.
You don't have a follow-up, and you probably need to Warsong Grim Patron to win this game and take care of this board. But it also is, like, kind of a pseudo life gain spell here. If you put it into play, Life Coach, like, has to respect the card. He can't let it sit around for a full turn. So
I kind of agree. I like the Warsong Armorsmith play.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Armorsmith into the 2-1.
So you're setting up for a potential Battle Rage. It's not too terrible.
No, you're just not dying.
Yeah, okay, because you're getting like 2 more armor theoretically.
You just kind of feel that you're dead right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like you have to believe he's had the read of Fireball the entire game.
Oh, Frothing, that's a bit more aggressive, but he's gonna get 2 more armor from just this play.
Okay.
At least.
Well, quite nice.
Whirling Blades. How good is Whirling Blades?
It's pretty good right now. You can end the turn with a 7/4 piloted Sky Golem. That's pretty good.
Or kill the Frothing with a Mech Warper?
Yes, I think you have to kill the Frothing with the Mech Warper. I think you just have to kill the Frothing.
At all costs?
At
any cost?
at
Yeah,
any
okay,
point
sure.
in the game.
Right.
Even if it means summoning an old Murkai.
Oh my god.
Too soon?
That game.
Or...
Yeah, I think it's too soon. We can't make that joke just yet. Just give it like another match.
Alright, another match. I got it.
What to do?
Oh.
Portals Online, doing nothing.
Well, he might be thinking about just saving the spare part for Antonidas, but I don't really see the worth in that. I think the 1/3, while it is a liability in like 2 turns, right now it's an asset.
Yeah, and like, is the game even going to get to the point where you need to get a Fireball off Antonidas? Antonidas himself might just be enough to finish this game off.
You could do it like Powder Shredder and then buff up the Mech Warper and go face for 4. Does that ever play? Oh, he's just going to kill the Armorsmith. Whoa, somebody's got a lot of courage.
Alright.
Yeah.
30 damage.
Makes sense though.
Let's do it, Hype.
5-3. This Master Swordsmith is surprisingly strong so far.
Well, there's actually some chance here that Hype just wins the game off of this. Like some dumb explosive sheep or ghoul from the Shredder. Really, like...
Yeah.
It would be so many hits on the creatures that the Frothing could hit for most of Life Coach's hit points.
Well, that takes up 3 of his mana though, right?
Yeah. But you can't really charge anything in your hand anyway. So that doesn't really matter.
Would you just attack into, because you can pop this and execute the Mech Warper. You can play it slowly. Actually, I think Life Coach might be running out of steam, and turn 8 will be like the turning point.
I mean, yeah, he can even attack here and get an extra card off of a Battle Rage as well.
Yeah, exactly. Draw 2 cards and kill a Mech Warper if needed, which probably will be, but...
yeah, I mean, it protects your Frothing Berserker on board. So,
right.
Holding on to those Whirling Blades, it's going to be nice for Life Coach here.
Yeah, trade up and then play the Bada Sky Golem, which is actually pretty like tough to remove. I remember there were a few lists with Paladins, running the Sky Golems just to punish warriors.
Yeah, it's pretty good in those control matchups. Just a big beefy minion that leaves behind something else that's gigantic. Half
Against
the time.
warriors, especially. I mean, they've got their weapons. If you can deal 12 damage or 10 damage with a Sky Golem, it's good. 6-minute Fire Blast. I value this.
What to do?
Oh man.
What? What is it?
You think he's going to leave the Frothing Berserker again? Is that what you're wondering?
I think there's some chance.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it can't really hit you for much more than... I mean, without patrons on board yet.
Yeah, what's your expectation here of this Frothing Berserker? Do you think it's, triple this power?
If you run in your 1/3 in it and play like your Clockwork Gnome, it can't do more than like 12 damage.
Here we go.
Right?
So he values the guaranteed
'Cause
fireball.
He can't Whirlwind.
Yeah, get the extra attack.
Okay, now we can Whirlwind.
Slam, Whirlwind, Fiery War Axe. Whoa, that's actually pretty clean. Well, you're killing only one part of the Paladin Sky Golem, unfortunately. You're also losing the Whirlwind if you do that, right? Which makes it a bit more difficult. Life Coach really planned out the distribution of the spare parts really nicely, because there's no really way with one Archmage on the board that Hyped can clear the Archmage with just patrons.
Now, is there ever a world where Hyped might just ignore this Golem here and just push for a ton of damage after a Whirlwind?
Whirlwind push? Okay, I could see that. I mean, it's the best value you're going to get out of it for now, until you hit turn 9 with patrons, maybe.
Yeah, he's picked up a shield block, too, so his life total is a lot safer than it was.
What about just armor up
die
fire?
the same turn anyway, just after Antoninus creates 2 fireballs.
Yeah. I mean, you could armor up to maximize the amount of armor you get instead of using... you also play the axe, and then you get a bit more armor out of your turn.
I mean,
Look at that! Look at that X21. I learned the name yesterday, right? Let's do this. It's a taunt. Sure. Oh no. Oh wow.
Oh wow.
That is actually disgusting. Finicky Cloak Field. Oh, that's it, right? It's gotta be it.
For his one-off lethal.
He's a one-off. Yeah, he's got 11.
Yeah, but Finicky Cloak Field.
On the Antonitis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not on the Fell Cannon, God forbid.
No, but then...
Well, then you have a chance
Hype can armor up out of range.
Yeah.
You can attack... I mean, if she finds a ghoul, I guess that's a problem, but otherwise...
No, the Fell Cannon doesn't hit
it.
Yeah, the Fell Cannon can hit the Antonitis, right? If you miss the Frothing Berserker,
no, the Fell Cannon has to run into the Frothing for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
So this means that Hype will have 12 plus 7 life. That's not bad, like 19 life.
Yeah, he's dead to the spam of fireballs. He has to
No, he's not.
Well, not immediately. Yeah.
Antonitis is 18. He's one off.
Yeah, but there's like 3 more fireballs. He has to find lethal by then.
Right, but he has patrons and charger. I think he's going to find lethal by then.
You think?
Yes.
There's no whirlwinds. I mean, I guess.
I mean, you just find an inner rage and be able to go crazy.
Yeah, well, he's at 12 right now.
But if you shield block, you can't play the war song.
No, shield block gives you another turn.
To find lethal?
Yes.
I'm dubious.
It does.
No, I'm dubious it's gonna work. I'm not saying it can't work. Yeah. I'm not saying it can't work. It definitely can. Oh man. Oh god, that's a lot of damage prevented. That alone is the card you wanted.
Well, you kind of need the ghoul to win, so you can't really play that.
When do you play it? On turn 9 you can't, so you have to kind of play it now. It's kind of awkward.
Oh right, you're right. You can't play it. But then it doesn't really work later on.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's almost no way for him to win unless he plays.
I think you have to play Armor Smith and just armor up, and then use the ghoul on the following turn to gain a lot of armor.
With one patron, and then you play Warsong on the following turn again. I think you're way dead.
Yeah.
I think you're like beyond dead.
Well, he has to armor up no matter what this turn.
Right.
You know that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, no, if he can play the ghoul and not armor up.
Yeah.
But if he plays the ghoul, how does he win? I think this is the play. I mean, it's very optimistic, but...
That's the play. All right, Trip. I think I agree. I mean, honestly, I think you're right. It's the way you win the game. Okay,
Life Coach has 18 damage.
Yep. He's like, can I not win this game?
No, he can't. Yeah. He doesn't have lethal right now.
Yeah. To battle. Would you kill the armor smith ever?
I think a frothing is lethal, by the way.
How? I mean, okay, wait.
Hit for 12.
There's no Death's Bite setup. He'd have to have Warsong.
The ghoul does a lot.
Yeah, so Warsong Ghoul plus a Whirlwind effect.
4.
I wonder.
5.
He's considering popping the armor smith in case a crazy armor turn comes up, but there's like with 12 damage.
No.
13
yeah,
actually.
Not enough. That's not enough.
Yeah, with 13 damage.
Almost not enough. I think here you might even just fireball the armor smith. The only way you don't win the next turn is if you gain too much armor off of it.
Yeah, if you fireball the armor smith, then it like can maybe cut some potential frothing berserker turns. It just takes so much extra toughness off the board.
Yeah, I think this is absolutely the correct play, even though it seems a bit strange. Oh, nope. That is not gonna do it. No, Hype has nothing he can do. He knows the fireballs are in Life Coach's hand. There's no way he can gain enough armor. There's no way he can kill Life Coach. It was a pretty close game.
Yeah.
I think a few more mana crystals and Hype would have had it. Maybe a better draw than Tharson could have stalled the game. I'm not sure how, but Patrons makes things possible you can't really realize at the start of the turn. So I wouldn't have been surprised if there was some outs there that he could have still won with, but it was still a very, very close one.
Yeah,
but with that win, Life Coach picks up one of this Mech Mage and puts up a point for Team Nihilum.
Yeah, I mean it was a weird game on the Patron side too. He had to, he's forced into using his Death Bite early and defensive, and couldn't ever, make Patrons with it to ever get out ahead. I mean, he's kind of behind the entire game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, truly the Patron draw wasn't great, but the Mech draw was like pretty bad as well. And really, the Mech Mage won anyway. So it really goes to show how dominant the Mech Mage is over the Group Patron Warrior in just the standard game where neither player draws particularly well.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting though to think that Life Coach would bring the deck because we've seen a lot more Tempo Mage and less Mech Mage.
Mm-hmm.
With TGT, for some reason, Mech Mage has gotten like a huge burst in popularity. The hybrid versions mostly, but kind of liking it.
I think the Fel Reaver Mech Mage got a lot of popularity right before TGT started. I don't know why that went away. It seemed like a pretty cool one.
That's a good question. I mean, does it just like get blocked by Noble Sacrifice with Fel Reaver, right? Like that probably is a big problem because you end up wasting.
You always think about the counter as like big game.
Yeah, it's like a
few of those, but yeah, the get down guy stops 8 or 10 damage just as often, I guess.
It'd be interesting to see if Big Game Hunter actually were to start to get played more, because it's funny that it's actually good against the Paladin decks now, because the turn where they do Dr. 6, like Big Game Hunter can usually actually swing the game back into your favor.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. Life Coach gets a win with the Mage here. Still a lot of play left. Tempo Storm has 2 points to Nihilum's 1. Hyped is on the verge of getting benched, which may affect Eloise's Mage.
Right.
But I still don't think it's really a big deal.
It's still early, right?
I just really like Tempo Storm's lineup here. Like, whenever we look at the lineups, even on the winners matches, we saw both sides having, like, the Zoolock. We were never really confident about that deck. Forsen was pretty confident about it.
Right, he was.
I think the overall performance of it wasn't, like, great. The only concern I have here is that Mage deck, because we just don't know what it is. But
there's also, like, with Zoo, I think the reason for its the way we feel about it is that when it's playing very quickly and it's not curving in the higher Sea Giants and all the Void cards and whatnot, which they kind of have to do nowadays. You see them come out, and they seem to come out consistently. So when they win a game, the game plan seems to have been achieved. But sometimes it just gets stuck with like big drops all the game through. So it's kind of awful.
Yeah. Well, all right. Who you feeling here?
I'm feeling RDU on Shaman.
Yeah, I'll just keep saying that every single game. RDU of the Shaman. You just want to put him out there in the fire again right away.
Yeah,
for Nihilum to win.
This deck, it just seems like it can't.
Often that's been the case. I really cool stuff.
Yeah.
The Conquest format has like a long list of advantages, but after an expansion comes out, you kind of hope people play like the really crazy stuff, but they do get punished so hard for it in this format.
Yeah, maybe it's time to make like a last hero standing tournament just to get
Just like
the
2 weeks after an expansion comes out.
exactly. And you shake
then
up
we
the
change it
meta
back
game, right?
Change it back to Conquest.
As soon as
Like, we had our fun for a week. Let's just go back to what works.
Yeah.
Well, no, maybe new decks get figured out, right? In last hero standing, and then they
That's a good
kind of
point.
transition into figured out. Maybe that's a big word because I remember last hero standing decks have a very different approach to deck building,
Right.
where you're typically going all in on a specific strategy, expecting to beat an opponent who you know is going to be playing a specific tactic. So.
All right, well, it is Hype versus Tice. We were kind of in a conversation there, so I actually didn't see what classes they queued up with.
Warrior versus
Warlock.
Warlock.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Zoo.
Tice's Warlock, is it Zoo? He's traditionally a handlock player, but I don't think we saw handlock in the tournament.
I saw mid-range
think
Demon
it's
Lock
Zoo.
or something, or
Yeah.
Zoo Demon Lock or whatever.
All right, so this is kind of a pretty good matchup for Nihilum once again.
Yeah, not unwinnable at least.
No, certainly not.
Yeah, we've seen some of the craziest games in ATLC actually come out from that matchup. Like crazy Malgan is coming out like on turn 4. It was like, yeah.
It's not only that, the Zoo deck actually has some defensive potential against the Grim Patron deck because it has the Argus plays, and sometimes you can actually Argus up a Void Caller when you have a Mal'Ganis in hand, which often nullifies whatever kind of charge combo a warrior would have that turn. So
Yeah.
not only can they just take the game immediately because of a super aggressive start, but they don't necessarily lose the game in the late stages.
I mean, yeah, it does match up pretty well. If the warrior deck has to expend all its resources early, like taking care of your board on the Zoo side, you get to push for some kind of advantage in the game and then really leverage your life total as your hero power as the game goes on, because you get to start tapping in the mid to late game and just still applying pressure at the same time. It's hard for the warrior to keep up because you're drawing as many cards as they are. And that, Patron has a problem sometimes and you outdraw them.
All right, well, we get a bunch of scrawny creatures. Maybe we'll see some board control ghouls coming down. We'll see. Hyped has played his bad matchups very defensively, but I expect anyone playing Patron in this level of a tournament has a lot of experience, so it probably has a decent amount of success.
Unstable Ghouls is not half bad against Zoo. It's probably one of your better lines of defense in some cases. It just doesn't always work out the way you want. Like in this case, it's a pretty decent counter without Fire War Axe. It's kind of forcing
Half a
opponent.
charge.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gain 3 life, half a charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like Hyped isn't actually playing any
Like a
weapons.
shield
Oh
bash
man,
for
why
2
is
mana.
Trump dancing over there?
Why is Trump not dancing? I think is a better question at every other time of the day.
He's practicing his moves, man. Oh god, he's gonna win this competition tonight.
He's
there a
been
competition?
practicing way harder than anyone else. If there is a competition for dancing, I've got my money on Trump.
All right.
No, let it not
All right, well, we
happen.
cannot give the patrons cards here. This is a must-play abusive turn.
Yeah, the interesting thing too with the Sea Giant is that there's really only the executes and the Warriors deck that is going to handle it, and he also needs those for Dugar, for Mal'Ganis. So there's a shortage of executes in Patron when you're facing off against that type of Zoo list.
Oh, easy Gnomish Inventor.
Well, Hype does have the Shield Slam in his deck too, so he's
Right.
a little tiny bit better off in those situations than most Patron decks, because that is one of the ways you win here is, you have something like a Sea Giant or a Doomguard go unchecked for a turn or two. If you get in that much damage, usually the Warrior deck can't keep up, but he's got, one more card in his deck to help him out in that spot.
So do you pop the Spider and defend of Argus, the 2/1 to finish off the 2/4 and have a 2/2 and a
Oh,
1/1,
God.
or is that just
That
like
seems
unplayable?
awful.
Yeah.
I think you just concede the fact that you might give your opponent an extra card with Battle Rage. Just forget about it. Play the Void Caller.
Void Caller or Void Walker with a Void Terror in hand? Or would you go Void Walker and Gang Boss?
There's no way. Like, whenever you see Void Caller, you just don't
kill it, yeah.
So it doesn't matter what's in your hand, really. The only risk is if your opponent has like a big removal and he just decides to kill.
On the line, you can get the other demons out of his hand and then get a big Void Terror turn.
Mm-hmm. Here it still looks pretty clean. He can kill off the 2/1 and which is absolutely happening next turn.
Yeah, with the hand like this, I can't imagine. I mean, picking up a Whirlwind would be pretty clutch.
That's cool.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of patrons.
Yeah, that's a lot of patrons right there.
Well,
Is lowering the health of the Void Caller. I might consider it if I want to Emperor. Really, what you're looking to
he
do.
wants to save him.
Yeah, well, I mean, mission number one here is going from here. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't get blown out by the Warlock deck over the next 2 turns, and it should be academic for him to win because this spider, as long as it stays in play, is actually a liability.
I don't know if you realize
Void
how
Terror.
much power can drop here. You can power overwhelm the
Void Caller.
Well, the 1/1.
I might do the. I'm gonna do the 1/1.
Yeah, I would do 1/1 into whatever Void Con to whatever Void Walker and then Void Terror, both of them.
Yeah, and then you get a huge minion plus the M-Gang boss. You haven't seen an execute yet, but you're forcing your opponent to have it. So there's probably a good argument to make that play. Oh my goodness. This Emperor Thorsten is going to be absolutely
Terrifying. You can actually play a 2-drop and Sea Giant and Power Overwhelm.
Look at this. This is insane. Shield Slam for 0. Slam's now 1.
Mathematics, expert. Because there's just a crazy amount of stuff that can happen after Patron hit 8 cards.
Yeah, in this situation, I usually blow.
Is he skipping?
Okay, I thought he was skipping the attack.
Okay.
He wants to get the M-Gang boss on the board. But then he doesn't get... Okay. But he can't get the Sea Giant now. I'm a little confused by that.
Yeah.
That must have been a misplay, right? That can't have been what he intended. Maybe it is, but I can't imagine.
I also don't like Power Overwhelm without Void Tearing the creature that was Power Overwhelm. And to have a way bigger creature.
Yeah. Well, here we go.
Alright. GG, but I don't think Dice will have a minion left at the end of this.
Okay. Yeah, there's...
Yeah, he has the double inner H just to be able to trade up into this voice here.
7/7 if he wants it, yeah. There's a slam for 2, so you can guarantee that it's going to trade up without using 2 patrons. You can just use the 1. And draw a card, conveniently. There's a battle rate already set up. That's
I think you have to Whirlwind early, actually. Yeah, the early Whirlwind is the correct play, I believe. Because you can't overfill your board with patrons. This gives you 3 patrons.
Yeah, well, you're going to have a full board here.
Yeah, this creates room for another one as well by getting rid of one of the ones that's attacked already.
Okay. And he's got to move, as Magni says.
That's kind of amusing. He started the turn...
Lost every single creature.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, the good news is Sea Giant is coming in at a discount.
For whatever that's worth here.
Yeah, that's worth a lot. Oh god. Well, Shadow Flame, right? Like a topic Shadow Flame.
No, there's no Shadow Flame.
Yeah. Come on, Crib. Don't be a Debbie Downer. Somebody will one day play Shadow Flame.
Alright, well this is the just play stuff and hope for the best.
Is there lethal with a frothing?
Oh, are you kidding? There's like a million lethals here.
Oh god. It's not even play stuff, you just like hit phase.
I think you actually like...
Trade 1 away?
Yeah, you... Oh,
I mean, you would kill the 3-1s that are there and then spawn 3 more, right?
Yeah, there's like...
Actually, no, they don't spawn, do they? Yeah. That was kind of weird.
That was kind of weird.
Well, you guys spawn more off of the imp here, along with inner age.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Like, you could play this turn in any order and you would probably have lethal unless you literally escape conceded.
I mean, you could just play the Frothing Berserker, inner age it twice,
You
and
could
be lethal.
just slam a minion if you want, and then Shield Slam.
You could shield slam your War Song and probably won the game anyway.
Hype's already getting out of his chair before
He
the
did a
turn's even
GM
over.
lethal. Exact lethal there. Only 4 damage on the Frothy.
That was pretty cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very GM.
Very GM. Oh, wow. Much wow.
All right. Well, Tempo Storm gets their 3rd point. Hype does get the win with the Grim Patron. That is pretty nice. We kind of expect these decks to get a win every now and then, but honestly, I feel like Grim Patron hasn't been all that consistent these days. Like, didn't work for Dog. Didn't work for some other players in the past series in ATLC. It's been pretty good overall in the finals, but still doesn't seem like the dominant deck. Just seems like there's a lot of like super powerful decks, and it really is all about the matchups in the end.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of players playing against it who know how to play the matchup against it as well. You know, they're not putting themselves in a situation where they can be abused, you know, leaving extra minions on the board with extra toughness or smaller minions that can get run over by patrons as well.
Well, I think Tempo Storm is in an incredible position here. They have Hunter, which is literally the best deck of the tournament. They have Druid, which has been pretty bad in the past, but has received a decent amount of help from TGT.
Yeah.
So it is, again, a pretty top-tier deck. And while the Mage might be horrible, the fact that it's secret means it has a good chance to steal a first win.
Yeah, they can change their deck though for tomorrow. So again, if they want to shuffle, you know, the Mage deck, if it turns out to work and don't want it to be predictable at any point, since players can resubmit, they can always make another Mage deck if they think the class is worth bringing.
So you said you think it's Freeze Mage, just
Major
she's
Domo
always
Kaldari.
played Freeze Mage in the tournament so far, so I think it's a reasonable expectation that we see it again. Even though we haven't seen Freeze Mage from any other team, it still seems like a good deck. It does pretty badly against some decks, but it does great against others, so it's probably just going to get a win, and that's just been the case in the past series and tournaments as well.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So now we'll probably play the Shaman again.
I hope so. I hope RD eventually wins with it, because at least if he gets it out of the way, at least we might have a chance to see the rest of the decks. You know, maybe seal a series, because it looks like the Shaman is just a weak spot so far.
Well, what's the matchup you're hoping for with Shaman here? Are you like hoping
the Mage?
The one that's left, if it's Freeze Mage,
Druid.
it is
Right.
probably
Yeah,
Mage.
exactly.
It was probably Druid before
Right.
the TGT shift. Now Druid's still not that bad, but I'm pretty sure you don't want Hunter.
Yeah, so you're just trying to corner this as much as possible, maybe waiting till the last moment to bring it back out.
Perhaps.
That might be that actually might be a good way for them to get back into this match, doing something like that. Try to maybe corner a deck, since you know they have to win with 5 more at this spot. So
yeah, it is all about the end. Because it, like as we saw yesterday, RDU just couldn't seal the deal with the Shaman deck, even though they were pretty far ahead.
5-5, yeah, they were ahead, and then they kind of equalized the score, and then they ended up losing the last match.
The position that Tempo Storm put themselves in is just very, very clean. There's 3 good decks and 1 apiece. It's hard to isolate anything at this stage. So I think Tempo Storm is got a very, very solid lead right now, even outside of the scores.
Yeah, I don't really know. Like, Hype is playing the more typical mid-range Druid. The Zoo from Thighs could be an issue, right? Zoo could also beat a Hunter deck. It's not impossible. It's gonna be really rough. Like, it's not likely to, but it's got better than a maybe it's like 40% as opposed to like the 30% some people.
You need to draw Defender of Argus really bad.
Yeah, I really need to draw the card. But like the Secret Mage, the deck we just don't know from Eloise is kind of it's throwing everything out of whack, right? Because you have absolutely no clue what it could be.
I felt like, in general, players kind of knew and expected certain things. I think right now they just expect Freeze Mage. And if it happens to not be that, oh well.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just something else, you just adjust accordingly, because you usually know within the first 2 turns what the deck is.
Right.
Mad scientist on the coin, and you're like, what happened here? What is this? I have absolutely no idea. And then it's actually effigy.
Yeah, I mean, that could possibly happen, but
Dragon Mage would be sweet. I would love to see a Dragon Mage. Not that I think it's great. I think it's worse than Dragon Priest in just about every aspect. But it's a pretty fun deck to watch.
We've already seen Kibler play a bunch of games, so I think the chance of Dragon Mage are a little bit less.
Yeah, he's already proven that it's not really the best.
Yeah.
It is fun.
It is really fun to watch. Yeah. Effigy also, I think, is a great tool for the deck. Unfortunately, most of the people that I talk to, like, you know, about the deck and how they feel it's going to match up against the meta, they tend to say that it's kind of just a worse dragon deck. You might as well play Dragon Warrior or Dragon Priest. So.
Yeah, Dragon Priest has been, you know, pretty
good.
impressive.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's not the most fun deck to play when you're just grinding through ladder. You know, you're playing for like 5 hours in a day. It's not the deck I want to be playing mostly, but you can't argue with the results that it's having.
Yeah.
Right. It's pretty good in ladder, and its counters have not really shown up in the tournament. Like a lot of the slower Warlock decks just absolutely murder it. But we've seen 0 of that in the tournament so far in the finals.
Yeah, I'm surprised how little of just any handlock variant we've seen, you know, with the players that have been here.
I mean, the Frost Giant handlock is like dominating the ladder everywhere, right?
At what level are we talking about here?
Oh goodness, someone killing me. Oh, it's a Mech Mage. All right. Nothing unusual there, at least for now. All right. How do you feel about Mech Mage versus Zoo? This is kind of an old matchup that I haven't seen in quite a while.
Well, that's a pretty nice hand from the Mech Mage.
Yeah, doesn't get much better for the curve.
It does. It gets a lot better if you go first. Right?
Yeah, in this case, I guess Cogmaster is kind of a sacrificial lamb. I mean, if you see the Voidwalker, do you still throw the Cogmaster or do you wait?
I don't think waiting is part of this deck.
Yeah, you just have to like play your minions on curve and hope it all just works out. I mean, if you try to play this like cute game, you're going to get bottlenecked on turn 4 or 5 where you can't play your stuff in the way that you want to, and then, you know, the Warlock deck's just going to run you over from that spot.
I don't know, I almost could see... No, maybe not. I was going to say like a wait on turn 2 for the coin, but then if you don't have a 3-draw... If there's a 3-draw that's picked up, I could see like a different line of play being taken, but it would make less sense probably than a straightforward Cogmaster play.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's going to be...
Oh, that's definitely a great start for Eloise.
Yeah, I think it's going to matter how impactful this Goblin Blast Mage is going to be in this game. I mean, that's, you know, the big payoff, obviously, for Eloise. And if it's good, you know, he's going to put some board states where it's not great for you to play Goblin Blast Mage, but he doesn't have any of those cards just yet.
Well, the Abusive Sergeant just counters anything that you do here.
Yeah.
So it is going to be a bit of a rough start, but Dice doesn't really have much past his start either, so... If Tice gets some bad draws here, I think it'll be a pretty even game. But right now, Tice's hand just counters pretty well.
Yeah, if he has the hero power at any point in time on like turn 3, it gives so much initiative back to the mage, and they can really start to pull away from the game there.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit awkward for Eloise as well, because if you don't have a mech on turn 4, then you don't have a turn 4.
I mean, a 5/4 body is generally going to be like okay, but
yeah.
you want to use its battle cry, obviously.
Yeah, its battle cry is basically your win condition
against Zoo. It's kind of how I look
health
at it.
is not winning against any.
Yeah.
I mean, Zoo has so many ways to buff up the attack as well, so it's kind of like a sacrifice. You're paying 4 mana to give them, 1 mana power overwhelming for tempo, and then you kind of lose it.
Not a bad draw here for the Haunted Creeper as well. You know, just another minion that he can get on the board here. It gives him a turn 3 besides just hero power.
So, would you ever just ping the Abusive and go turn 3 double Snow Chugger?
It's not bad.
Because that way, maybe your mech, your Blast Mage is more likely to hit. Wow, so I was just smoothing out, just smoothing out the curve. Top decking a Doomguard, of course, for the Void Caller. We'll see that.
Oh, I'm hoping for Mal'Ganis.
And you got to believe he's going to trade in here just to make sure that coin Blast Mage doesn't happen. Because it's still pretty good even on this board.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you might not be left with anything to trade away.
Right.
All right. Very good play from Tice.
Life tap over Creeper.
No way.
No way. Yeah.
All right. This is going to be the Creeper. That's a lot of minions to take care of.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a great draw. It's going to let him Spider Tank, and then next turn she can...
Even if he loses the Spider Tank, he can just...
It's still fine,
yeah.
Blast Mage, right. Uh-oh, pop the Spider.
That's enough.
That's crazy. Oh my goodness, an 8/8 right now.
Giant.
Yeah.
This is a hard card for Tempo Mage. I'm sorry, Mech Mage to deal with too. They usually have to give you 2 different cards to deal with it, and like their entire turn.
No, and behind 2 Void Walkers.
That is just too much tempo.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you're coming back from this.
But what about all the hits from the Blast Mage? If they hit all properly, right? Because you're popping the Spider here, then you're probably going face with the 2 remaining minions. If the Blast Mage cleans up all the small health ones, could you potentially just swing back in?
Tice would have to draw dead for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's right.
If he ever topics like Doomguard or just anything super impactful, I mean,
He does not have to draw.
Yeah, because he's gonna have a life tap as well.
Right.
Oh, That's something that could finish off the giant if it ends up attacking into the Blast Mage.
Yeah, that can stem some of the bleeding, maybe.
Yeah, I think he'll attack face anyway, right?
No, yeah, you attack the 1/2 and then you drop your Blast Mage.
Here we go.
He likes the
4 to face.
the coin clockwork first. All right.
What?
That was a pretty poor Blast Mage.
Yeah, it was. Now, what I'm wondering is why she played the coin like
Instead,
so aggressively.
instead of playing the Blast Mage first, seeing where it goes, and maybe then reevaluating.
No. It's like you're still not going to be winning. The only way you're going to start winning is Dr. Boom, so saving a coin for that is fine. You still have a 5-mana play next turn.
She's been accused of playing very conservatively in the past by some people, so maybe she's trying to make up for it. Just going full on aggression. I don't know.
Maybe she feels the only way she can win this game is if her turn, pans out really well there. Like Noxious had been saying, just clears all of the small toughness minions, and they can maybe trade up along with the Frostbolt into the Sea Giant, and then just hope from there that Dr. Boom will eventually clean things up down the line.
Yeah, I think it's still possible that she's gonna be stabilizing, but yeah.
I like the clear play here and Sea Giant face.
Yeah, the 2/1/1s being gone would probably be better. Like force Eloise just use the 5/4 and a ping to kill this, or a Fireball. Fireball would be devastating though. Like a top deck Fireball here would be great for Eloise.
Not quite.
Can still.
Well, do you there's also, do you ever think about picking off Void Caller here just because, there's no cards in hand, there's no demon coming out?
I would go for the Frostbolt, reversing switch my my 5/4 into a 4/5 and kill the Void Caller.
Well, you can just, yeah.
Okay, you want to kill a giant and just play a Spider Tank?
No, you can just reversing switch.
Yeah, you're reversing switch
now.
Frostbolt now, yeah.
On the Void Caller? Yeah, but you don't Frostbolt the giant. I guess if you want to get rid of it now.
That leaves you a board with you're facing down
Less, yeah.
Yeah, you're facing down less, but you're not getting anything on board, but you do get rid of the Void Caller. Yeah.
Nothing really helps here.
No.
There's a good chance Eloise stabilizes. I mean, if nothing comes down to contest, the follow-up into Dr. Boom from Eloise.
It's just you have a poor turn here because you played the coin.
Do you go face? Or do you make the trade? Because the trade basically, there's a ping on your Void Caller, which means you basically lose 2 minions guaranteed.
I don't think you can miss out on 6. It's like hard to miss out on 6 damage here when she's going to be able to use
pretty much
her hero power
to kill.
Yeah. Do you ever just trade in here? That's a weird one. Maybe you try to get some value. And we got the
Trump is still dancing. Oh yeah, show me the moves, Trump. That's right. Oh yeah, shake that. Okay, too bad. It's gone. Oh, there we go. We're back again. That's glorious. Woohoo!
I'm not so enthusiastic.
You don't like it?
I think he's getting better. He improves every time I see him do this.
What we're missing here is the back.
There's a lot left to improve.
We're missing the back of the shirt with Trump face. I mean, front of the shirt is one thing, but I can't see it from this angle.
All right. Well, going for the kill on the Void Caller now seems maybe a little risky, but understandable in some situations.
Yeah, you're at 13. There's not much you can really play around with here.
Yeah, you could always. Could you just let it be
this
there?
This means that you Snow Chugger.
Yeah,
that's what this means.
You can unstable portal right now. Like, what if you just don't kill a Void Caller?
No, if you unstable portal, you want unstable portal first.
Yeah, just in case you get something big and impactful. Yeah.
And then you just play it after Dr.
Boom. Snow Chugger by
Frostbolting. Yeah. Well, Nerubian Egg, that's the power-whelming target, but I think Eloise is getting a pretty decent foothold on the. Oh, that's a lot of damage. That's 9 right now. If Dice wants to take it.
Yeah, if you do that though, you're kind of sacrificing your.
I think you literally
egg,
just do that because then your top deck can power whelm because you have the egg there, or the Doom Guard,
right?
And you have 3 outs to just win the game, and
off a top deck.
You're drawing 2 a turn. I think that's the play.
Yeah, it looks pretty solid to me because the odds that Eloise just picks up a ton. Anoyo Tron would really put a dent in your ability to win if you do that though. Like it's a really big all-in, but it might be the only play that works. If you keeping the PO.
He's gonna hedge a little bit here, which is fine as well.
Okay,
there we go.
Clockwork Knight. There's that little guy.
Welcome to Asia, where people play Clockwork Knights.
I like Clockwork Knight.
I think it's great.
I play it.
He's not so little either.
Another power top deck.
Or Doom Guard. Or no, not that one.
Still tap. You can kill Dr. Boom with the egg and the implosion, probably.
Let's say Doom Guard's still lethal. So
well, that's it. There we go.
Oh man, the Mage fails to take a win, and is this going to be the start of Nihilum's comeback?
Is Eloise's Mage what Shaman is to Nihilum?
Well, probably not, as Life Coach just won with it.
Right, but there was no Clockwork Knight.
We don't know that.
Yeah. Also, Unstable Portal is the most overpowered card in the game, right?
Sometimes it's terrible.
Yeah. But it could be game breaking as well. I mean, it's one of those cards you live by the sword, you die by the sword, you know?
Yeah. Actually, last night I had a portal against me and he coined out a junk bot.
That's actually really sick in Mech Mage.
Which died immediately.
Just died immediately, okay.
You're kind of making this
anticlimactic.
Come on, yeah. I was like, a junk bot, what did he do, Crip? It died immediately. Oh.
Yeah,
what do you tell the story?
Alright, let's catch what's going on here. This looks really intense.
So Trump right now telling everyone, I run this thing. No one can actually beat me at this game. Yeah. Come on.
No, he's just pushing people off the dance floor.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
He's like, Rekful, come play with me. Please, Rekful, I want to dance with you.
He's going to slap Rekful in the face with that as a nunchuck. So he's winding it up right now.
Yep. Can imagine Trump, like Ninja Trump, right? And made a new emote.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Well, that win puts Nihilum in a really good position. If RDU wins a game here against whatever, it actually are exactly tied.
Yeah, and I think you go with the Shaman.
They're just gonna keep throwing it out there. I love it.
It's not about logic, right? Because the thing is, eventually you have to win it, and at this stage, there's nothing you can corner. Who are you going to bench, right? No one.
Yeah, I mean, against the Mech Mage, the Shaman is like okay.
Oof, I don't know.
Against the Hunter, the Shaman is like maybe a bit worse than okay. Yeah. And against the Druid, it's like about 50.
It just depends on your opening hand almost every time. Yeah. If you get one of the good aggressive opening hands and they don't have wild growth, you're like a pretty big favorite.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Darnassus makes some of the biggest impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, you plug the Neutron a lot more easily with your hero power, and you can kill the Neutrons, deny Make Warpers. So it's kind of the problem with the Mech Shaman is, I guess, if you don't play it now, it doesn't really matter. You'll have to play it eventually. And there's always... I mean, you could always make the argument that you want to try to beat your opponent, with more decks to give yourself a morale boost and momentum, but it's a little weird, like to still have to run with that deck.
I'm kind of thinking Gara might play just because he hasn't played in a while. And Hunter, just whatever, right? I mean, from what I remember, he's playing like a fairly aggressive mid-range Hunter, right?
There was a snake trap and a bear trap in that deck from Gara that we saw yesterday, so it's on the beast side, definitely. And I think it's a great idea to bring that type of deck. It might just be kind of the new mid-range Hunter, like as opposed to playing some of the maybe just pure power with shredders and everything. Not that he doesn't play them, but
maybe it's what he thinks Hunter needs to become to start dealing with these Paladin decks that are cropping up, because it's definitely seen a drop in its win percentage in the last couple of like last week or two with TGT coming out. It's becoming less popular, winning a little bit less, which is weird to say about Hunter because it seems just been such a staple in every tournament.
Okay, well, we're back to the
Kiss me, baby, here. One more time.
Oh, thankfully people are going in front of the camera.
Yeah, they're coming to see the show.
A little bit.
The real show.
Yeah, that's the real show. Watching games, why would I do that?
Look, he's not even watching the screen anymore. He just knows where he's going.
Move. That game is rigged.
Yeah. That was a great.
You want to go downstairs and play
I think I do, but I'm casting right now.
That's just a lame excuse.
You get a break at some point, right? You better be seeing.
If he shows up and I'm live on the caster cam, I might try to imitate the moves, but if it's not there, then I won't.
You'll get to play the game from up here, but Trump will be the screen for you.
Right. Yeah. That's how you do that. I think we should actually have Trump play in front of the monitor while the game is going on. So when he plays his games tomorrow, we actually get like a little bit of dancing going on.
Maybe they could just like mix up that game with Hearthstone, so you could like full screen.
You have to drag the cards.
Get some real exercise playing Patron.
Oh my god!
You actually couldn't play Patron in back-to-back games because you'd just be too winded. You'd be too tired to actually play Patron again. You had to play the game with the least amount of moves afterwards.
Yeah, Hunter. Right? That's pretty easy. You just do like this. You just like go up.
You just sit down and raise your arm.
Right. Pretty simple. Oh!
Look at that!
Oh, look at that! Is RD's Shaman coming out? All right, Gara. Show him who's best.
So should we anticipate a pretty quick game here between these two?
Well, I think
I think Gara just plays a very controlling style.
Yeah.
He has like the aggressive push that he makes, but he usually does that when he feels like he's cornered rather than just going for the win. I feel like he's just a pretty safe player with most of his decks. So I don't know if Gara's really going to go for the kill as much as he's going to try to stall the game. And RDU certainly, RDU plays one way. So there's not even need to commentate on that.
Yeah, he just goes upstairs, and it feels like he's playing, like face Hunter almost in the way that, he can't ever trade, can't ever do anything like that.
Yeah.
The thing, if you find Doomhammer, I think that's appropriate. The thing is, you're still running into the possibility of a Houndmaster against the type of deck Gar's running. That's a really big stop. Because you need to find the Earth Shock. Going through against a Hunter, taking, say, 5 damage from a taunt minion is just not something you can afford very often.
Yeah, Earthshock, very good in that situation, pretty decent against mad scientists.
Mad scientists and everything.
Depending on his hand, you might have to.
Wait, is that the same Gara we're talking about, or am I just?
That's an interesting look. RDU is sporty as well.
Is looking a bit weird as well.
I'm liking the stash he's rocking.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot.
All right. Gara is known to run this Argent Horse Rider in his hunter.
Wait, did we just miss?
And I think in this particular matchup, it's actually going to be extremely powerful.
Did I just miss what Gara was playing? Wasn't he playing that mid-range Paladin, mid-range Hunter with Beast? Did I just completely pin him on something different? Or is it maybe like a hybrid with Beast? I don't know.
I think it's like a mid-range Hunter, but he's playing the Argent Horse Riders.
And Leper Gnomes?
Leper Gnome is a bit weird, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it still works out. Because the Earthshock might be baited out of RDU by that, which as a result means that if a taunt comes up, if it's mid-range of course, then that's different.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like we have a little bit of an issue here with the cameras and stuff, but I mean the game is rolling out, so we might have one perspective for a little while, but it should get pretty exciting pretty quickly here. Really with the Hunter, you just want cards that would control the board so the Shaman doesn't get like a critical number of mechs on the board. And right now, it seems that is panning out pretty well here.
Yeah, Mech Warper, pretty nice card, but unfortunately with the Coin Eagle Horn or the Abusive Sergeant, it's going to be very easy for Gar to deal with it. Assuming...
I'm kind of a fan of the Coin Eagle Horn bow, actually.
Yeah, I like that card. I like that play a lot. I see a lot of people play Mad Scientist first because they want to conserve the coin for something else.
There is no conservation measure against the face Shaman.
Yeah, Mech Shaman, you just can't play it slowly.
Right. I think in the past, the Mech Shaman was heavily favored against Hunter, but now Hunters are playing a lot more freezes. They're playing... Well, the other hand is the Shaman decks are just not running the Fel Reavers, which was basically the win condition.
Yeah.
So you do it 8-8. Just have fun with that.
Oh, hey, it's the Earthshock.
It's the Earthshock, but I think it's still probably better to just play the Spider Tank.
Really? Because you'd be literally sacrificing it to Abusive or like any type of... I mean, Quick Shot could come out as well. I mean, Quick Shot would be okay. Quick Shot would be okay. All right,
you're okay with any of the 2-for-1s here if you're Spider Tank, but Abusive Sergeants are really... Yeah, Abusive Sergeants are the real payoff you're hoping to avoid here.
All right. Oh, man, that's an interesting one, too. But I think...
I'll show them.
Yeah, it's hard to pass up Mad Scientist Abusive Sergeant here.
And not lose a Death Rattle from the Leper Gnome as well, in case Earthshock hits later, so...
Yeah, I just think you have to be like pretty conservative with your Earthshock. You have to, play around something like Houndmaster or something out of an Animal Companion, because if he does get a taunt minion, it's so much resources for you to get through and so much damage for you to have to expend to get to that point that, if you use your Earthshock in some other way, you could probably lose the game because of that.
All right, so your opponent's a Hunter. He's at 28, and you have no minions anymore.
It's a good Earthshock, though. Really good pickup here by RDU. There's also the consideration that without Doomhammer, can you really push enough damage to kill this Hunter? Doomhammer would do a lot of work, I think, but oh my god.
I actually think the Horse Rider is pretty good here. It's
definitely. There's no way RDU is going to kill it unless he has Doomhammer on curve.
Well, he would just need another Earthshock if it's not Doomhammer.
Oh, but you'd kill the 1/2, right? Unless you want to use the bow. Oh, never mind. Oh, that's also pretty good, right? You keep your entire board by using the weapon to kill the Cogmaster.
I kind of like it just because from this stage in the game you're going to deny as many minions as possible.
Right.
So you get 2 Hounds there. When are you ever getting more than 2 Hounds?
Yeah.
Never.
Literally
never.
Yeah.
I mean, RDU's hand in this game is just a delight, isn't it?
I think RDU has played 6 games of Face Shaman, or Mech Shaman, whatever we're calling it, and he has drawn exactly 12 Lava Bursts.
Yeah, just all of them every game?
Right.
Yeah. It's the card you want to draw on turn 6. You never want it in your opening hand or in the first couple turns.
Right.
Alright, so he's going to get... He thinks a chance to maybe keep the Flame Tongue, but it's not happening. Yeah, that's definitely not the mid-range Hunter I was looking at. Alright, what did I miss?
Ooh.
Guards has a plethora of options.
I was thinking maybe... Oh, he wants to stay as high up on HP as possible. I'd like that.
The only way you lose here is probably if you go too low and somehow Doomhammer Rockbiters come out with spells.
Yeah, I mean, the RDU is, not played minions for the last turn besides the flings.
Yeah.
So, like, you know what his hand is.
You know you're
here.
at like 12 right
You know
now.
you're at
You're actually at 12 effective health, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the way this game is played out, you know what RDU's hand is exactly, pretty much.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can just...
I mean, you can never expect that 3/2 creature to ever attack, so...
Oh my god, is this real?
Did you just crackle the dog?
Rip.
Wow.
My regrets.
It was only a 3 damage investment, I guess.
Yeah, if you look at it that way, it's like a lightning bolt.
Yeah, when you start looking at plays over the span of the game, that's not one of the ones that actually gets you in any kind of winning position.
Well,
I mean, it reduces the Hunter from Tempo Storm's lineup so that you'll never have to face it again, so maybe then you can win.
to be fair, if you got a spell damage totem, I'm sure he would point that at face.
Oh, well, that's...
Oh, there goes any hopes of attacking.
Oh god, this is so sad. I'm watching RDU be demolished as a human being, not even just in a Hearthstone game.
Well, you can play a 3-mana 1/1.
You can kill command your own face,
That would
and
be-
you'd probably still get away with it.
That would probably be one of the more aggressive Unleash the Hounds ever.
Alright. I don't mind that. I think after you saw your 2/1 dog get crackled, I think you're okay taking a point of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Hello.
that's the
That's pretty much the sound it's gonna make very quickly.
That's the correct sound for that one.
Well, I mean, Guards has lethal unless Lava Burst comes down. So he's got a Lava Burst, the 4/4 taunt, and play the Annoyatron. But if you Lava Burst the 4/4 taunt, Guards effectively at 21, which is 2 digits.
Yeah, it's just
Which is a lot.
Still a lot of help to go through as Mech Shaman. We've already used up 1 crackle to like possibly all your minions you're ever gonna get to attack.
so. Are there any running draws that
And
RDU
it's still
can get?
almost lethal, by the way.
Yeah.
Are there any running draws that RDU can get here to even be in this game? Like, does it have to be like Doomhammer into something and then?
No, it's
Doomhammer is way too late. You have to draw it
Basically-
on turn 5 at
basically
least.
right now we are playing the game. Hopefully, Gara disconnects and we have a regame,
That's possible.
which is an okay game to play.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
If you're playing for this much money.
I'll show them. I'll show them.
All right. Well, looks like Temple Storm will end up with...
Oh, the disconnect can't even happen anymore
No? Why?
Revenge will be sweet.
because there's lethal on board for Gara unless you get the top totem.
What if you rope like really hard? And there's actually a DC.
No, it's lethal. There's absolutely no way Gara can do anything.
Okay.
I mean, RDU.
Yeah. Temple Storm does have twice the points of Nihilum, and not 2-1, 4-2, right? It's a little bit more
it's
meaningful.
4-2. Right now we have the Mech Mage and we have what is it? It's the Druid.
From to Hype, yeah. Hype still has his Druid to go through.
Still some pretty okay matchups for the Shaman, but
It's got to win a game right here, and he's got to be pretty demoralized.
there's like
at
a
this
few
point.
other decks that Nihilum has to take wins with as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty rough here. This Shaman has just not looked good in any game, as you said, and you have to win a game with it. And
Yeah.
how demoralized are you at this point? Is he 0-6 with it? Is that what you said now?
I think it might be 07 now. He
if-
won. He lost 5 yesterday, right?
No, he lost 4 yesterday, so
Okay.
okay. 6 with it. Really, the interesting part, the way the tournament is set up, it is a little bit forgiving because, like, if you lose here, you don't have a chance to be the 2nd seed, but that's okay. Like,
Yeah.
you could just like the 3rd and 4th place are the same when it comes to tomorrow's absolute finals, and tomorrow you get to change your decks.
Mhm.
Now, if we see Mech Shaman tomorrow, that will be a surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the way it's performed, you got to believe
Right.
it's the first thing on the chopping block.
I'd
Yeah.
be very surprised if Nihilum brings that again. If they don't bring Hunter as well, right?
Mech Shaman instead of Hunter.
Right.
Right.
Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, I
You
don't know
gotta
if you
keep that
can.
in mind.
Yeah, I don't know if you can actually justify that anymore with the way these games have been playing out.
I don't know. It seemed optimistic.
Even at the end of TGT, it was still at the beginning of TGT. Sorry, when the deck lists were still very akin to that of pre-TGT, it was still a little weird to bring Mech Shaman over Hunter, but
it did pay out pretty well.
Yeah, the thing is, Thais was also telling me this. He's not a hunter player, and when Life Coach and RDU agree that hunter's not necessarily worth bringing, or that Mech Shaman or another deck that they brought might be better, they kind of agreed on it. So it's not like RDU pulled off some crazy switch and was like, you know what,
Right.
I don't want to play this hunter deck. I'm just gonna bring Mech Shaman.
Well, as a team, they probably decided to pick Mech Shaman. I agree with that.
Yeah,
But as a team, they'll probably decide to replace Mech Shaman.
yeah, tomorrow.
What do you
definitely.
replace it with? Do you like?
I think
bring out-
Hunter is just easy. Like, Hunter has literally never been bad in this tournament.
Yeah.
In probably any tournament.
Yeah. Do you think there's a chance we see something new, like maybe a rogue deck come up?
From
It's
RDU?
possible if they're probably not with Rogue, but there is some chance a new deck will rise. This is absolutely the time where you would like switch into that gear to maybe have some kind of wild surprise factor when it's really on the line, when everything is on the line. But we'll see. We'll see.
There's a counterpoint to
It's
that.
very
where-
difficult to actually come up with a deck that competes with the existing decks.
Yeah.
You would know.
Yeah, I know. I absolutely know that. I've tried the
so hard.
stupidest
Yeah.
stuff in the universe
Yeah.
and tried to like find something. But
Yeah. Sometimes stuff works,
Yeah.
but it usually works because the surprise factor is part of the strength of the deck.
yeah,
So it doesn't a new deck doesn't necessarily need to be as good as the other decks. It just needs to be almost as good.
it reminds me of Purple Drang playing the Axe Flinger. Like it looks like Patron, it plays like Patron, and then he goes Axe Flinger, and he just rampages them after a Whirlwind, and then he Bouncing Blades and you're dead. It's like the
Or it
stupidest.
could just be Patron.
Right, it could be
This could
Patron,
just be
but
Patron,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's just pretty amusing to watch. So, like the surprise
Yeah, but
factor
if
would be
you
there.
play a combo deck with the same win condition as Patron, with the cards that literally replace Patron for the exact same purpose, it's not like that doesn't offer a competitive advantage.
Right, it just offers like a fun factor, I guess.
And it looks like RDU is going to be thrown right back into the fire again here, Shaman.
Man.
And he's gonna get benched, so that means
Well, yeah, he hasn't lost yet.
He hasn't lost
Noxious.
yet.
He hasn't
Yeah,
lost yet. All right,
Sorry.
calm down. Calm down.
I can see why you would think he's going to get benched.
So I think the Mage overall though has a much better matchup against the Shaman. The Shaman does against the Mage.
I think both decks have serious consistency problems. So this is literally like, I think 1 out of 5 times the Shaman just automatically wins because it gets a good hand. The Mage doesn't get a good hand. So the odds are okay.
All right, let's take.
They
it
seem
that
better than
way.
they've been.
Yeah, I think RDU Shaman literally doesn't have too bad of a matchup anymore because like all the decks he's facing, the Mage and the Druid both have consistency issues. And if he gets an okay hand against the bad hand from his opponent, he literally automatically wins.
Yeah, if he wins here, this could be the start of like a comeback here for their team.
Right.
You know, they're not out of it yet.
Yeah, it would be like 4-3. So really, it's 3 more decks versus 2 more decks.
Yeah.
So it's definitely possible. We've seen it happen before. We've seen crazier things that actually happen before.
I mean, it is pretty important that they win this match here, though. This exact game.
Yeah. I mean, the Druid, Hype's Druid, is not really that consistent of a class, but is more consistent these days. And like Nihilum has 2 points, I believe. It'd have to lose 4 in a row. That's pretty unlikely.
Yeah, we saw some bad draws from it. I think of Dog yesterday. Just
Actually, he did lose 4 in a row with that deck
Right,
because
with
of
Druid.
unbelievably bad draws. But Dog, I think, had a few more tech choices than all the other Druid decks in the tournament,
Right.
which kind of increased the likelihood of that.
Yeah, and so you can't hope for that. That's not something a position you want to be in. You're
I
like,
don't
well,
think that really ever happened.
yeah, you're like, I hope the Druid draws badly for 4 games in a row. You know,
Yeah.
I hope they never have Wild Growth
Or Darnassus.
Yeah, or Darnassus.
Or
yeah.
Innervate.
Or Innervate, yeah.
Or relevant creatures.
That's a lot to ask for 4 games in a row.
Right.
Their opening hand is just always Ancient of Lore, Ancient of Lore, Ancient of War. Like
Oh,
every
no,
game.
it was worse than that.
Yeah, it was actually worse than
Dogs
that.
was like swipe,
Wrath,
and like
some-
Wrath,
Yeah.
and like Innervate.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, one of his plays was he had the option to innervate a swipe to the face. That was his
Didn't he
only play.
win? Didn't he win that game though?
Hmm?
I think he won that game.
Was that
It
the one
clear-
game?
I think that's
No,
the one he
wow.
won
Isn't it the
against
game
the
that
Patron.
he cleared against Patron and then just like drew dead again for like 2 or 3 more
maybe.
turns?
Okay.
I
Because
don't
he had the turn where he got to like swipe into Wrath and to innervate his hero power to take down the Patron board.
All right, well, it's a mech battle, and the Mage is in good shape here.
Yeah, the Clockwork Knight's also really difficult to handle just because it buffs a mech already existing on the board.
I think on turn 5, the Shaman is in a situation where it doesn't really care about the board state.
Yeah, I was
That early? Wow.
Well, they're hoping to have
Well,
like gotten you.
the,
I mean, there's a
the
lot of
lava
bursts,
burst
right?
count is at 13 now.
All right.
Or you just need to keep a running tally for the rest of the tournament, just to
It's,
see.
it's
if,
going to be the next card draw. Like it's
Oh,
guaranteed.
for sure.
Yeah,
If it is, then there's something really. It's worse than Fire War Axe at this stage.
it is worse than Fire War
Yeah,
Axe.
at this point, it actually has been for RTU. That's definitely true. And it does a lot less too, right?
I can see the lava burst in RDU's eyes.
It's just lava burst and regret.
Self-loathing for bringing Shaman.
All right. Well, these are the two remote players.
I mean, the coin power mage is pretty sweet because you can weave it in with Spider Tank as a follow-up play and get a 4/5. Like next turn, of course, but not
I
yet.
don't know why he's thinking. I guess he's thinking about his future turns.
What about a Noyotron? I mean, you would still Lightning Bolt this turn, right? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh,
That has
indeed.
some stopping power.
Yeah, the Power Mace is actually not going to be able to attack the second time against a Spider Tank. So maybe a Lightning Bolt would be considered
Ooh,
here.
Lightning Bolt is pretty nice here. I like the Lightning Bolt Mech Warper play.
Unless he goes for a turn 3 Mech Warper Bolt and then Spider Tank as a follow-up.
Yeah, does that actually set him up better?
Yeah.
Further down the line.
I think it might, depending on whether or not a 3-drop comes out here for Eloise. That's not quite it. Now, would you be afraid of the Blast Mage to the point where you would bolt the Clockwork Gnome instead? Ever?
Well, I mean, it does. Take a
Yeah,
lot. It takes
you're
technically.
scared of more things than that.
Yeah, there's so many things that are dangerous here.
The Tinkertown was probably a bit worse than the Clockwork Gnome as well. So it could be Tinkertown, it could be Goblin Blast Mage.
Yeah, that's actually an insane draw from
That is an insane
RDU.
draw.
Like, the Earth Shock with the Mech Warper just sets him up perfectly. And there is no Mech for Eloise, the follow-up, to kill the Mech Warper with the Cogmaster.
Oh my god. Could
Yeah.
this be the game?
That he finally gets over the hump.
This is actually the game where you might want to draw a second Lava Burst.
And he's not gonna find it.
The one time he actually needs the lava burst is just not there.
Yeah, maybe.
We heard your pleas, we left them at the bottom of the deck.
Okay.
And then it never shows up.
All right, well, we know the correct play, but it is hard to see this. I mean, if you do run up against another mech, this play doesn't work so well.
I mean, against a Shredder, it would probably be
Yeah, sure,
okay.
it's still okay, you're
'cause you
right.
play a
you're
Spider
right.
Tank
You can
afterwards,
just
right?
kill it with your weapon.
Yeah. Also, the spare part being denied removes a huge variance component to the match, where sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen, and one of your minions gets frozen, and then you're out of it because
Yeah.
they get a crazy tempo
Also, it
turn.
could just be an attack spare part or a
Right,
swap,
right.
and you could just lose your Mech Warper.
Exactly.
Artie's
Or
not going to
not.
play the Mech Warper here, just fearing, another mech coming out of
Okay.
Eloise's deck and just getting punished.
I can agree with that. I
There
think
it
it makes
is.
sense. And he's going to be able to kill it with the Power Mace as well, so that's another thing to note. He's going to be getting a crazy Mech Warper, Spider Tank, kill the Mech Warper turn if Eloise decides to play it now. And
I
considering
don't
the
think she
phase
is.
damage,
I think the Goblin Blast Mage is just way better here.
even as a 5/4 like baseline.
Yeah, because you deny a good attack from the weapon, and you know the Shaman has to push now.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
A
you
lot of sense.
You just pick off the 1/1 here as well to protect your guy a little bit here. So there's, Artie has to use something other than just the weapon here to take care of your Blast Mage.
That's pretty
that's-
convenient
that's
because I mean, with Doomhammer in your deck, you might feel a little queasy, I guess, about doing this. But
Well,
He's gonna cry. This is 3. He loses the game, I believe.
Well, here's the problem too.
If this is 3, his aggression is gone.
Yeah,
well,
Eloise
I mean,
is still at 30, so he has to get something going at some
Yeah.
point in time here.
I think he has to crackle, but if he gets 3, he loses.
no, not really,
he
because
just,
he can
just
play.
won't be able to win.
He can play Mech Warper and kill the 5/4 and then have a 4/5. He could still stay into it. It's just that he's going to take 5 more phase damage than he wants.
No, the 5 would just kill the Mech Warper.
No, he would attack into it with the weapon after crackling it and missing.
Oh, if it fails?
Yeah,
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think it's a decent plan.
I agree.
75% of
I
the
agree.
time
I
you
agree.
win.
I agree, you're right.
Oh man. Drum roll.
It just seems like every game RDU has to go through these insane hoops of these complicated turns just to have a board.
chance.
Yeah, just to have a chance to win.
Oh my god, it's not 3!
What happened here?
Wow.
Nice job, RDU. Now your draw will be bad for the rest of the game. I apologize for this, but we must equalize.
I
Wow, that's pretty sweet for RDU though.
think just Clockwork Knight here.
Yeah, this seems like the only play that Eloise can make, and RDU is going to be able to deal
Finally,
with it
Lava Burst
perfectly.
is also not terrible.
And I think this is going to be the game.
Yeah.
You might see the Mech Shaman get off this 9 here.
Yeah, just
Whoa.
Whoa,
5 damage into 5 Wow.
That's
Lava
good.
burst.
It's done something.
We're no longer cackling 2-1s here.
Yeah.
Crackling a 2-1 hound. Oh man, the highlight of the day, I guess.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Hello. Yeah,
That's interesting.
It's not interesting right now. It's interesting when the Doomhammer comes down.
it's
I mean,
interesting.
Do you pass up on playing it this turn though? It's just such a good curve. I mean, like you have to.
Poison Blade for the Mage and Doomhammer for the Shaman, right? What?
What did?
Sword of Justice for
Yeah.
the Mage, and a 1/3.
What is a 1/3?
It's probably gonna be the Cogmaster's Wrench. Oh yeah. There
Oh
it is.
wow! It is.
Wow.
Whoa!
That's pretty convenient if you're in Ardu's shoes right now.
He just got 9 damage.
For free.
He didn't even need that second lava burst
Yeah.
this game.
Sometimes fortunate.
Yeah.
He's gonna be able to develop a little bit of a board here too. Hopefully, getting this rolling
Dump
tempo
the
to
max.
Here
live, yeah.
comes the Flame Strike.
Oh god.
Is there room for Flame Strike in this deck with a Blingtron? and all
Some
these
people have
options?
done it, but I don't think this deck can even like find room for it. It would be hilarious though. I would probably cry for RDU.
All right. Well, is she dead?
With Rockbiter on the
Well,
he's
example
one
matter,
short.
+8,
Yeah.
+3.
He's one short.
one off
yeah, you're
lethal. Yeah, but there's no like he could pick it up off the top. That deck has a huge top deck
A lava
potential.
burst?
Yeah.
A lava burst.
Let's make this the story. Let's do this.
Now, how does Eloise even? Is there a play that keeps her in this game over the next 2 turns? Is there a board she can set up where she can at least threaten lethal?
I mean, she can't even lose a Shredder that easily because
Not
it'll be
really.
buffed. There's no Shredder save.
She can even attack into the.
Annoyatron and kill it,
Trying
right?
to kill it. Yeah. She can kill the Annoyatron basically.
That sounds
Try to push
like.
for some lethal the next turn.
What does Medivh even say when he attacks? Yeah, you don't know either.
Okay.
That's gonna be game.
That is
That's
it.
gonna be game.
Are
The
you
Shaman
with a
wins!
smile?
Unless he screws it up. Does he screw it up?
He attacks first.
Yeah.
Forgets the rock bite.
Alright. No, he's got it. He's got it. Oh my god. What a relief if you're RDU here.
Yeah, the mouse lags and he just has to reconnect it. He comes back.
Oh no,
and
the
rubs-
mouse just goes into the shredder.
Yeah. And then Doomsayer spawns.
Yeah. There we go.
So everything's forgiven now, right? You just throw away the 6 games before this one.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, the Nihilum's team is always a little bit behind,
Mhm.
but really we weighed in the fact that the Shaman had such difficulty closing out a game in the past. I mean, it did take 6 losses before it won the 7th time.
Yeah. Somebody wants to
And-
dedicate a stream for Trump dancing.
No, I don't know.
You don't? Okay.
And I think really the only thing that changed is it didn't draw 2 lava bursts.
Yeah, I mean,
The fact that it was another creature replacing the lava burst helped a lot.
Yeah, so apparently that's the key for that matchup. You only need 1. If you draw 2, you can't win anymore. So maybe
Or 0.
So
Or
maybe you
0,
just play
yeah.
only 1 in the deck.
I don't know. Sometimes your creatures just melt away and you never win the game at all. And
Yeah, that's
lava
kind
bursts
of.
give you some way to win with Doomhammer and Rockbiter, and you're basically playing Malagos Shaman without Malagos at that stage.
Yeah,
but
pretty
it
much.
does win games, and we've seen that happen a few times.
Well, Skaka's done it a few times. Playing the control game until he finds the top decks.
Yeah.
Just drags it on as long as he can, and then.
But I mean, right now it's really only behind 1 game.
Yeah, they've got a good chance to swing back
And is Eloise benched?
Is that 2 mage? No, I don't think so. I think Gagara played a hunter prior to that,
Yeah.
so there's no bench for Eloise.
Okay.
That was a big win there, though, for them. Getting them,
Yeah.
not just getting off.
They're
the
only
side
a
of that
little
deck.
behind
Yeah,
now.
now they're
Only a
only a
little
little behind. Yeah, and they don't have their own shaman ever again. It's
Yeah.
it's off the table. It's gotta
Ever
win.
again, ever.
Yeah, because they might not
Ever.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, we have a pretty aggressive Paladin deck. I think that's actually going to probably beat both of those decks.
I'd venture to say so.
And the Patron is fairly favored against. Actually, no, it's not, is it? No, the Druid and the Mage probably kill the Patron. Patron has some pretty mediocre matchup. But the thing is, when the Patron has a bad matchup, it's like a 45%.
yeah,
bad
it's
matchup.
still like
Right,
a 50.
right,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty much it.
It's like it's not an actual favorite in his matchup,
Right.
but it's a bad matchup.
Right. And that Druid's a Druid. I'd actually wager Tice's Druid against any other Druid.
Yeah, if anybody plays Druid, if you ask me to pick one player to bring Druid to my my lineup, it's probably Thais. Yeah.
So, now I'm still a little bit behind, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
What would you lead off with here?
Paladin.
If I was on the Nihilum side?
Yeah.
I think the Pally just doesn't have
Yeah.
a bad matchup. And if Eloise decides to play Mage, maybe you can target the Druid with your Druid.
Because Thais is a superior Druid, of course, right?
Oh, but then it would only be on bench. It wouldn't matter what you queue into.
Yeah.
No, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'd go for the Paladin motivational boost.
Yeah, I actually was like thinking the same thing as not.
Give
I
it
like
momentum.
Paladin as well. Yeah.
Give RDU a little bit of a pickup, I guess, for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's also like one of the decks left that can just get some free wins, like that and Druid just have some draws that are like very impossible for other people to beat.
Mhm.
And you can just have Patron in your back pocket with Life Coach. You know, he's been doing a lot of work with that deck lately, so you can kind of have that as like your fallback if, you know, you have to win a couple games here at the end. So
I don't know how the current Mech Mage list, especially with Blingtron, really does against Theis's Druid. Just me not knowing that might affect some of the matches here. Oh,
Well, we'll
we're
get
gonna
to
find
know
out.
it. Yeah, we're gonna find this out right now. It's kind of a
It's
good
weird,
question.
right? Like you don't know.
Well, if
the Blingtron gives you some extra reach.
Yeah, it
but
really
it doesn't work in the later stages of the game because
You're
it's
dead.
like yeah
you die.
it's like, oh, so I'm at 14 and then it gave my opponent a 4 damage weapon or
yeah,
something.
it lets Savage Roar do a lot more damage
Yeah,
to you with
exactly.
combo. They
Especially
get a
with
ton more
Doomhammer,
reach.
right?
Yeah. Plus, I mean, they can use it against you to start clearing your board as well.
I've actually seen that. I've seen
Savagery Druid
Yeah,
with Blingtron.
Blingtron
and
gave the
Bite.
opponent a Doomhammer and he was playing like Bite.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh wow.
That's the story of my life.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
It's that one time.
Yeah.
The one time it happens out of like the thousands of games.
You'll
yeah.
see people do that, like at Legend, once they
Right.
have nothing to lose, they'll just switch to like that wonky Blingtron Druid, and then they play Pirates just because they can, and they just attack with them. It's pretty cool to
You
see.
played Pirate Mage.
Yeah, and it
I don't-
worked. I won
don't-
so many games. It was like super good. Echo of Medivh, the ship's cannons.
Whoa. Define super good.
It won 2 games out of like 17.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's higher
For
than
Pirate
expectation, I
Mage,
think.
it's pretty sweet.
That's actually worse than I'd expect. I think you just win games from just curving out your opponent more than that.
No, it's not a curve. It was the Echo of Medivh combo, like quad ship's cannon
So you
into
can't curve out your opponent.
Oh,
with that
you're
deck?
actually just trying to combo
with
them.
you don't play the pirates first. Like it's like the Murlocs, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can't Murloc people down one at a time.
Yeah, you can.
Maybe if you play Warlock, because you
It
can.
starts with the first hero Murloc. Sometimes the Murloc Knight.
Yeah, but it's like turn 4.
Mhm.
I mean, you can have this guy in any deck, into Murloc deck.
Well, we're really off topic right now.
Is there even a topic? I was waiting for a game, so like I'm making a topic up. So.
Well, yeah, the game that's coming up is gonna. I mean, we saw the screen. I'm assuming
Yeah.
we're locked in basically.
Yeah, maybe we have some connectivity issues, with the remote client going on.
Right.
Shaman 1 shut down the servers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is going to be Theis's Druid, which I think is playing a very standard
Right.
Druid list. I don't even remember if I saw Darnassus in his list.
Yeah,
He might just be playing the Druid he's playing like a year and a half ago.
Which is still fine. I mean, that deck's been great since the inception of Hearthstone.
Exactly.
I mean, I think Druid is the class that has changed the least over the span of competitive play at Hearthstone. I mean, you're still playing almost the exact same list you were at the
it's
beginning.
like this creature might be slightly more annoying
Right.
than the last one, so I could play this, maybe have it stick and force nature calm my opponent instead of 14 for 20.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
sounds about right.
Yeah.
The moment they add like a good 5-drop that actually sticks, you might see that be
Well,
swapped
they
in.
didn't even try the Spectral Knights. That was a thing, but that
Yeah.
was mostly to counter because there were a lot
Miracle
of spell-based
Rogue,
rogues at
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
So you just do a turn 1 Spectral Knight, they would just leave the game on the spot.
Yeah, didn't even bother with it because like you can't sap Blade Story like 17 turns later.
Yeah. By the time you do anything, you just
yeah.
die to that one card.
In HPL, Kranich was actually running Spectral Knight in his Druid decks
Okay.
and just kept queuing into Patron, and it was just like he would just play it on like turn 3.
Yeah,
and
what
just
is execute?
Never kill it.
Yeah,
He could
what
just
is
never kill
execute?
it.
It's like it's crazy. All right,
Well, it's only 12 to the face with the Fiery War Axe.
yeah, it's only 12 for like turn 3 play. That's
Still pretty good.
Yeah.
You'll like to get it a little bit more.
But the Patron can often combo sooner than the Druid, so
that's
know.
right. That's right.
it doesn't sound as rough as the Rogues had it.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what I'm
speaking
saying.
of rough, that's gonna be rough for Thais to handle. A curve like this from Eloise against a Druid is gonna be pretty difficult to remove from the board. Well, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not
Great-
that
Great
difficult.
Druid player confirmed.
Thais, I don't think I've seen him play without a Wild Growth or Innervate in his starting hand
Well,
ever.
You might have to keep this whole hand because if you keep Wild Growth and Innervate, which you probably should, you might just run out of cards if you don't draw cards that are relevant.
Right.
Yeah, if you like mulligan Azure Drake and then draw something that doesn't do anything, you
Oh
just
my
lose the game
God.
on the spot.
He kept it.
No, but the Mage hand just got better.
Yeah.
There's a Mech Warper in there now.
Balance detected.
Yeah.
You have a really good mech voice. You have a really good impersonation of it.
Wow, really a good Oh, that's a pretty decent top deck though for Tice.
I still like the wild growth. You can afford to take.
Yeah, yeah, probably because you can always keep it afterwards and then curve into the Drake very
Honestly, you can
nicely.
just force a nature next turn if you want.
Yeah, could do that. Wipe the board.
Yeah.
Well, if you innervate out Keeper here, you can kind of control the board a little bit, and then you can wild growth into Azure Drake over the next 2 turns.
What about Spider Tank
Which is
though, right? That's the worry you have. Coin Spider Tank would really throw you out of the game for at least a few turns.
I think because you have the insurance or the perceived insurance from the force of nature, you can just afford a wild growth. If you can ever afford the wild growth against the Cog Master, this is it.
Yeah, I think
That's
I
a really
agree.
good point. Yeah. But you can just hold on to the innervate as well. I mean, you don't have to get super value from it on turns 1, 2, or 3. I mean, if you just get the turn where you get to do 2 different things on turn 6, you can get super far ahead.
But we just saw what happens when you deny every mech off the board. Like, just nothing happens.
That's generally the way to beat the Mage mech decks. If you can get those kind of draws against them, they have a really hard time functioning.
And here we could probably just see Keeper on the Cog Master.
If Eloise picks up a Tinkertown Technician though, that's going to put Tice in a bit of an awkward spot.
Honestly, if she just picks up anything, she's in good shape.
Yeah,
but,
any 3 drop.
I don't know how likely that is.
Well, there's a lot of 2. At least there's a lot of 2 drops, so it's possible that we see a Snow Trigger even. That'd be
A
kind of
2 drop?
okay.
Ooh, I think a 1 drop would be better than a 2 drop because you
The
could kill
ping?
kill
Okay.
the Keeper. Things like that. There you go.
Yeah.
Actually, Snow Trigger would be a 1 drop because of that.
Of
Snow
that,
Trigger would've been
yeah, it would have
right.
been better because you could actually like play it for 1 and then ping the 2/4.
All right, test your swipe. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, Tice still has 2 Force of Natures here, so it's not like he's going to completely lose control of the board.
Yeah.
As this game goes on, he's going to be able to use them as removal spells.
I think here you probably just get that creature off the board. I mean, the thing is, if you do nothing, you lose the swipe. If you trade, you lose the swipe. So you might as well remove the creature and then lose the swipe.
As opposed to letting it 2/3 live.
Yeah, one of the board states is way better than the other one. One has a Keeper of the Grove and one does not.
Right.
Oh hey, another keeper.
I don't know if it's really ready though. I think here you might just want to force.
So you'd innervate Force just to clear up all the mechs so Blast Mage doesn't deal extra damage? I don't know.
If you innervate Force, it takes away like a Goblin Blast Mage play.
Yeah.
Takes away potentially a lot of plays.
Yeah, it takes away a lot of plays, but then your next turn you're priced into just Keeper hero power.
That's it. Like this is such a strong card for Tice.
Yeah, but Eloise is getting in that damage.
Yeah, but a swipe takes care of the Blast Mage and everything else.
Now, here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Or Blast Mage
you
might
play
take care
around?
of the Drake.
Do you play around Swipe anymore if you're Eloise? Because he didn't do it last turn.
Not here. Not after hitting the Drake for
Oh,
only.
that's true. Well,
Only
you
one.
do get 2 draws.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty good. We know it's good, but I think just because you get 2 draws, it's worth it.
Yeah. So Eloise is pondering whether or not the swipe would be a problem that badly.
She
or-
plays around it pretty well here to make sure that she can have a minion left over.
Yeah, Tice, good pick up here for the follow up after swipe, and he cleans the board up completely. If Eloise doesn't find a minion to curve with the Mech Warper, could be a little tricky. He's gonna keep the swipe for a better time.
I think the Swipe Keeper is stronger than the. Oh, you can't Swipe Keeper. But you can.
You can, yeah, you can go for it and use the Innervate, and then you go for Ancient of War turn 7. What do you expect
That's a
on
really
5?
aggressive play. I don't think you need to do that. No, I think his force play is just better.
Yeah,
So-
I actually like Force of Nature here a lot.
Does it have to do with the fact that you might run into a Clockwork Knight, which is a 5/5 that's hard to remove, and then swipe is kept for that?
No, I just think you have 2 forces, and you want your other cards to be flexible.
Okay.
It's rare that you actually even get a good chance to play Force of Nature without killing your opponent.
Yeah, he's getting some value out of the second Force of Nature here. I like this play a lot.
All right. Well, here you really can't do too much as the Mage. Just drop the Mech Warper. Whatever. You can drop it twice if you want. That's fine.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
Well,
No, it's not.
It's
What about-
amazing.
what about just playing Goblin Blast Mage kind of like just as a tempo 5/4? Because you still have a time rewinder in your hand if a situation ever comes up.
Yeah,
But I like
right.
just getting 5 power in play.
Yeah. No, she does like that.
Oh, well,
Oh, wow. Pretty good one.
yeah.
It always comes down on turn 7. Like it's always drawn, right?
Oh, well. You kind of have to fireball ping, right?
Well, yeah, if you fireball hero power, you can like hope to God there's a good board for you to do your own Doctor Boom on
Right.
next turn, but there aren't many that are going to happen.
Yeah, I think you just fireball ping and hope like the 1 in 10 chance that your Goblin Blast Mage survives the onslaught of boombots.
Yeah, they just like both go to face for a few, and
That's really 1 out of 4. It's not that unlikely.
Yeah, it's like old Murkai likely.
it's better than the chances of any other play being made of winning this
Right.
game.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you double trade and you just see where they go and keep it the Grove Might. I mean, we'll finish it off no matter
Yeah.
what.
If the boombots really suck, you always do have the keeper.
Yeah. Okay, backup plan. Oh, well.
That's one
Now,
fail.
does this ever change your play here when the first Boombot does this?
You might keep your hero power to Nasus Aspirant. Or not.
He's going to try to have the big turn here. Oh, wow.
I mean, you can still go hero
That-
power,
that was
innervate
actually
Ancient of
a
War, though,
disaster.
no? Yeah, you innervate hero power to kill this,
Yeah,
and I
it's
think you're still good. It's a lot more phase damage, though, so it's kind of worrisome against
Yeah,
it.
but you did just do a
You
fireball.
saw a fireball, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to guarantee get in some damage here, and you already have a swipe and another Force of Nature in your hand. So you have like 10 to 12 burst damage with the Keeper of the Grove, so you're only trying to getting a little bit more damage for the rest of the game.
All right, well, I think it's Dr. Boom time still.
Yeah.
There we go. Now Eloise will test her luck with the boombots. Wow, that's a nice card.
You can always heal up the Ancient of War after it attacked into Boom, but then you can't swipe.
I think this is a really clear play. I think you draw cards, play Darnassus, and hope to get a Savage Roar from your draws.
Yeah, and just push 5, yeah.
And if the boombots aren't lucky, you just win. It's just game.
The only thing you would lose to, I guess, like a reversing switch on your Ancient of War, where they just then kill it with Balls Bolt, double Boombot, hit face, or like some kind of play along those lines. I don't know.
What is he thinking of doing?
Like silencing where the Boombots, so the damage doesn't go through, and maybe the Ancient of War is more likely to live. Because I mean, the Boombot would have to hit that one target for
if,
3.
If Eloise wants to kill the Ancient of War, she can kill the Ancient of War.
What?
Yeah,
Well,
you can silence and swipe and
not quite anymore, though. I don't know.
Ooh.
oh, now
Full face,
now
though.
she's got some. He's a little worried about his light total now being at 10 because maybe there's some outs here, Frostbolt plus
Yeah.
Fireball, but she already has expended 1 Fireball from her deck.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way Thais isn't healing with Ancient of War, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's not because he doesn't see the burst, but he's really worried. You can tell in his face that he's just hoping this is a board he can handle and not some kind of burst from hand.
I don't think he's going to heal. I think he has to use Force of Nature to clear.
Yeah.
If he's really worried, you'd use Force of Nature to clear.
Right,
not
right.
heal.
In this case, but like the follow-up plays
Well,
might involve.
She's down to 1 card in her hand now, and he knows it's a spare part, so
He knows there's no.
he just has to
damage
beat what he sees now.
Yeah.
So Force of Nature Shredder is a definitely good turn unless you really want to armor up, but I think you don't have to. Shredder is so much better at controlling the board afterwards.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a really bad card. It's going to be a pretty rough time.
All right.
That's fine. Just kill that.
Manageable.
Looks like he wants to kill the Mech Warper, probably.
Yeah. The armor up is actually going to allow him to do pretty much everything he wants. Do you really have to kill the Mech Warper? Snow Trigger almost looks more threatening at this stage.
And you want to be able to
But
attack with
you
your
wanna-
minions next turn.
yeah.
You want Snow Trigger to have to run to your taunt creature.
Plus, he can't die to any top deck from Eloise here, and he can heal up with Ancient of Lore. This pretty much like seals it up for him.
Blingtron wouldn't kill you right away.
Okay. Actually, wait. There was a lethal option there, wasn't there? Goblin Blast Mage return. Goblin Blast Mage perfect pings.
Right, yeah, I guess that
Was
would
that
be
enough?
Well,
No,
he
that
would
was
have had to hit
one-off
for
lethal.
one-off lethal with perfect pings, definitely. Still playing the defensive game because he can't get the full board.
Well, he's dropped his combo options now.
Yeah.
And now with the Shredder, it's actually a pretty big threat.
Wow, he's got no way to kill what comes out of this Shredder. unless he finds information of lore, but then that means you're not healing. So he's gonna try to find one from the excess mana. I can agree with that. I think it's probably the best way to ensure that you can clear the board.
Pick up like a Wrath or a Swipe, yeah, and he does
There
find
you
a
go.
Swipe here.
That's pretty good. What's the worst?
Millhouse Mana Storm?
I mean, it's the same thing as a 4/3. Oh wow.
It was in the center. Rewarded.
Yeah. It was perfectly placed.
Okay, wait. What needs to come out of this?
Oh wow, actually, if he doesn't kill it, she can time rewind it. It's actually good.
How good is that?
Oh!
Oh, there's about to Leroy Jenkins can win this game.
Any charger wins the game because she can rewind it.
Oh goodness.
Any charger won that game.
Yeah.
Right?
That could have been such a
Except
heavy.
Boar. Boar would have gotten to one.
Yeah.
That could have been so insane. I'm surprised Sai didn't trade, just because the only way he loses is if something crazy like this happens, right? Maybe Archmage Antoninus would have been an issue with the spirit part. That could have been another worry of his. But then does pushing damage really speed it up?
All right. Well, you're playing that because you can't do anything else, and I think you're rewinding because the creatures that attack into it die to it anyway.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what would you save the rewind for?
Last mage, but there's no mech, so probably not. Oh, is
I was
that?
like, maybe she was holding onto it for like Antonitis turns, but it's
Savage
certain.
Roar.
Right, so
No,
that's-
that's 16.
Yeah, it's not enough.
But you do end up doing that for
The trade,
for the
right?
trades, and because you don't want to draw and be left at 7 life and actually lose a game to a fireball, you have to heal here. So considering that, you should just Savage Roar first. Let's see what you get.
Meta Ray. No.
Oh yeah,
It's your favorite.
That would have been so crazy with it, like
Well,
into the
he still
fireball.
would have lost because then he could just hero power, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. He could have just paid 2 to get out of range of fireball.
Now I believe it is
Unstable
another
portal
unstable
number
portal.
2. Yeah, let's do this. Come on, Eloise. Show us Killstone.
Oh,
Oh.
A little late here.
a little late. Actually, unstable portal could have won the game.
Yeah, still could have. I
Not
guess
with Leroy, but a smaller charger.
like
That would attack
Arcane
twice.
Golem would have
Yeah,
done
Arcane
it.
Golem. Just even a 3-attack charge. No, 4 had before.
It would have to be exactly Arcane Golem because Reckless Rocketeer was too pricey.
Would it be?
Corpron Elite? Would it?
No, Reckless Rocketeer would be exact
lethal. Yeah,
Exact
'cause you can
lethal, yeah,
replay
yeah.
with a discount.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
Wow. All right.
Just most
Does
chargers.
it
would have
still
done
have the
trick
discount?
there.
Once it, does it
No,
still
no,
have
no,
the
no,
discount
no.
once it comes back
But
to
you
your
pay
hands?
you pay 3 for it
You-
first, so you
Pay
can.
2, 3. Oh, you can't pay 6.
Because
You're right.
Portals
Yeah.
pays 2.
It's
No, when you return it to
2,
your hand,
3,
it
and then
becomes
6. You couldn't play a
6
6
again.
mana charge.
You need Corpron Elite basically. Corpron or Arcane Golem, right? That's it. Like
Yeah.
2, and 2, 1, and then the other 4.
Mm.
Anyway, Nihilum back to potential swing. They can get the series. It's not impossible. They're 4-4 right now.
Yeah, they've tied it up, and I believe Eloise is now benched. Right? We talked about her being
Right.
benched.
Is
So,
that a big deal? There's only a Druid left.
there's a Druid left on
Paladin could help.
Templestorm side, and on the other we have, I believe, the Patron Warrior and another Druid.
And the Paladin. Ty's just won with his. So there's Paladin and Patron.
Oh, right, just one of the Druid. My
Yeah,
mistake. So, yeah, we have the Patron Warrior and the Paladin.
Is she benched though? I believe she must be because I think she just played the
And the
Mage.
Druid didn't
prior.
get played, and the Mage, yeah, she has to be
Right.
benched. There's no doubt that she's benched right now. I thought she lost 3 in a row, but I mean, it's for sure she lost the last 2.
Yeah, I
So
got
how do you feel hyped matches up against the 2 decks on the other side now?
Well, against the Warrior, it's probably slightly favored. Against the Druid, sorry, I keep saying Druid. Against the Paladin, it's probably slightly unfavored, but I think it's still very, very close.
Yeah, if you get like an early keeper, maybe something to take care of a shielded mini bot. They don't have the best draw ever.
I believe RDU's deck is hyper aggressive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his other deck was pretty aggressive too.
Yeah.
He
So
plays a lot less secrets as well than some of the other lists. I think he's running like 7 total instead of the 9 that you very often see. Maybe even 6. I don't know. I'm not too sure exactly what the copies are, but I don't think I've even seen competitive spirit in his deck.
I don't remember
Yeah.
everyone's playing the
Too many
basically
secret.
that Paladin
Yeah,
deck,
too many
so-
people play.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
every
a
team
bit
pretty much
hard
has
to
had
really
it,
figure
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'd go with RDU over Life Coach. Not because of like this matchup. It's because if the Patron Warrior loses to the Druid, the Patron Warrior has like maybe an okay matchup against
The mage, yeah. So if it's the last one, you're still fine. Once
Like,
the
I think if the
unbenching
Paladin
happens,
has to go up against the Mage, it might not work out if the Mage just gets an okay hand at
yeah,
the start.
that's it. Good blast mages can just take it. Early mechs that control the board and negate some of the
Or,
secrets.
yeah, the war just has
pings.
some more play.
Yeah.
So
It's
there's
not as
some,
coin flippy.
so there's some little mind games going on here, like who's going to get cornered in this spot.
Yeah.
Because they know what they're getting on hype side, but
I think RDU makes a lot of sense. This is probably the most impactful choice. Like as far as the what you put out, very often it doesn't matter, but in this case I think it does because the bench rule modifies the dynamic of the
Wide eyes of left coach.
pickups. Yeah. What did we pick? I don't know.
Your eyes aren't even that
Yeah.
big. You can't even pull it off. You need some surgery.
I didn't sleep enough the past 2 days.
you also need a different beard. You have to get a little
I
more.
haven't slept enough to last like
I have to
4
shave the
years.
sides
What?
and then put it on underneath.
Say the last 4 years.
Yeah.
You should probably do some sleeping grip.
How much do you sleep per night?
6, 7.
6, 7.
not
That
bad.
seems about what I do.
That's above average, I think.
No, hell no.
Oh, come on.
no.
There's no one. They say that you need 8 hours a night. No one gets 8 hours a
Oh,
night.
a lot of
You
people
need
do.
9.5 hours.
You need 9.5.
Yeah.
Some people,
I've heard 8. Why do they say 8 instead of 9.5 then?
Because it makes people feel better.
You're also supposed to split it up, right? That's what I've heard. That you're supposed to split it up in 2 different things.
I don't know about that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
but there's a gene that lets you sleep less and still be fine, right?
I don't know
Maybe you
about
have
that.
it.
Yeah, they do.
I want that.
Yeah.
They do. I asked them to do some transgenic stuff on me, but I don't think it's legal yet. But there is a gene.
You asked them to do.
Yeah, I was like,
transgenic
who's
stuff
them?
on
I was
you.
like, why not? I was like, why not?
In Canada,
Yeah.
In Canada, yeah, Canada's a
those corrupt genealogists.
It's the wild
or
north
whatever,
up there,
right?
man.
McGill, man. They've got these people just working on this. Off topic again. Anyway, back to the drawing board, I guess, for these two teams.
Yeah,
I mean,
looks like there might be some issue here because they are taking quite a while.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be RDU versus Hype.
Yeah,
So
kind of what we expected. Seems to be a slightly better pick than
Yeah.
Grim Patron.
Yeah, maybe something with the remote client yet again. We've had it a
I mean,
couple times.
if you lose, it's whatever. It's still about the same chance as the Grim Patron. But if you win, I think you're in a slightly better spot.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
All right. We have not seen too much of Hype Druid. I think
one game. I think it might have won first time it was
he
played.
lost once, won the second try, but I think he got just like blown out the first game, so it wasn't much of a game.
I believe it was like a standard mid range though. I don't remember seeing anything crazy.
I think it's the new standard mid range where you have
Yeah.
the Darnassus, where you have a few more early game cards.
Yeah.
Like just topping on the Ancient of Lore, maybe not even Ancient of War in their deck now.
Now with this Paladin deck, you actually keep Mysterious Challenger in every hand.
You know, it's kind of interesting you asked that because I've seen people keep it and it goes horribly wrong. I think you and I have guessed at a game or two where somebody keeps it for insurance purposes and
I
it
know
just
if you go second, you
backfired.
keep it.
Yeah, of course.
If you have a good curve and go second, you keep it.
Yeah, definitely. So going first might make it a little weirder, but you're going to be behind on cards, so maybe equalizing that disadvantage. Oh, wow.
Wow, he has the pretty good hand against anything aggressive that can come out of the Paladin deck here. This is the kind of hand Hyped wants in this matchup.
Yeah.
It is pretty good, but all of the okay, now we're talking.
Yeah.
This is pretty much unstoppable from Hyped. I mean, his turn 3 is looking a bit clunky because he's got no 3-drop.
Well, he might get a 5.
Right. Oh, yeah, you're right. Like, half his deck probably just fits on
If
that
he gets
turn.
like a Druid at the Claw, it's tough. Kings doesn't even break that.
Oh, man. Double Aspirant. Is that worth it? Or do you just go for the Silence, Innervate, and then kill the Spider?
I like the double Aspirant because
Okay.
you might kill one of them. So what?
Yeah, I just have another one waiting.
Right.
And I can get...
Ensures you get a better turn next turn.
Yeah.
You also threaten a 7-drop if you don't kill any. So...
Noticed Hype likes to talk to himself a lot while he's playing Hearthstone.
He was able to just deny a creature from the Paladin, which is always a very strong play.
Wow, that's awkward. I mean, you kind of have to go for the Cog Hammer.
Yeah, it's not that awkward.
It's just...
Coghammer's just pretty nice.
Yeah, do you pop the Spider first, or do you let him pop it, and then you Blessing of Kings whatever's left?
I think you pop the Spider first to kind of hedge against silence.
Okay, makes sense.
You also have, like as you said, Blessing of Kings in your hand. It makes it a little better. You have multiple targets for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the problem with Hype's hand, I think, is he's gonna have to cycle that Wrath just to make sure that he finds better options. Because sometimes hands like these end up depleting themselves very fast if they're answered.
Maz somehow made it on the stream again.
Yeah, I don't know. Frodan looked amused at what Maz did.
There's been a lot of Trump because he's got the shirt with his own face on it. There's been a lot of Kibler as well. There's a lot of the Kibler playmats just lounging around the house.
Yeah, but it's not as good as the Alpha Draft shirts.
Oh yeah, the 8 that we're giving away, and you guys can win one. They're going to be signed by the players, and they're you can enter to win by just telling us when your favorite players, maybe some of your favorite moments on the Archon Twitter account.
We are so smooth, Crib.
That was a great segue, guys.
All right. Well, you have to wonder why RDU wanted a bunch of stuff. So you kind of are playing around kings at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, if he
It's
swipes
pretty
here, it's a
easy.
waste because there's no muster played yet,
Right,
so you
no,
kind of have to.
would never.
Yeah,
swipe.
it makes no sense at all.
No,
No, you never swipe because Wrath does the same thing. You draw a card.
Yeah, you cycle Wrath here, use your hero power, and just run it to take the shield off.
Cycling is also achieving exactly what he needs to do, which is guaranteeing that he stays ahead. Because once the Mysterious Challenger comes out, you pretty much need a lot to contest it.
Uh-oh.
That's odd. Okay,
That's trouble.
that's definitely asking for trouble. That's
He's at least going to pop the shield here for sure, yeah.
oh wow.
All right. Well, RDU's like, thanks, buddy. I just wanted a king's my dude.
King's my dude.
Yep.
King's my dude. New play.
All right. That denies the mana crystal. That puts Hype back on 4 mana.
And the full board clean.
Well, I think you kind of want to keep her for tempo, but you kind of want a Wrath.
I'd probably keep her for tempo just because there might be Shredder coming from the Paladin players. A lot of them have been running that kind of of deck, and Juggler, Muster you can probably handle, so that's not a worry. Getting a 2/4 out is the only thing you need to handle a Shredder.
All right. Well, that's a Juggler Muster combo. 2 have to hit, which makes it a 50-50.
I kind of like the Juggler Shielded Minibot Redemption, but I'm also a little biased.
Yeah, I mean, if you attack with a Coghammer here, you only have to hit with, a few
2
of the
knives, yeah.
It's a little bit easier.
It's Arcane Missiles.
Yeah.
It's the 50% Arcane Missiles hit.
Yeah.
Isn't it like... What is it? What was the argument before?
People were dumb.
Yeah, I know people were dumb, but what was the argument? 66?
There was no argument. No.
No, some people argued.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But it's Twitch chat.
Yeah, I guess. Twitch chat. I mean, Twitch chat right now is yelling that RDU has lethal. So.
but he does. Like, if you look at his hand, like, Mysterious Challenger into Avenge, into Blessed Champion off the top, you can set up for that quite nicely. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to go for the Muster for battle play here.
And it's all going to miss. Here we go.
Well, Swipe's going to clean this up pretty well, too, here for Hype.
Yeah, but here's the deal, though. Swipe is great for RDU because he gets the initiative.
Yeah, I mean, Hype doesn't really have much else going on here, though. His hand is pretty clunky with just removal spells.
Now there's a lot going on with the hand, though.
Oh, yeah, well, Dr. Booms does that pretty often.
Yeah, against Repentance, I don't know. There's a Repentance in RDU's deck.
Now we'll have to test for BGH, maybe, right?
We're going to have to test for everything.
Wow, that's a good draw.
Yeah, so Repentance...
Only 4 secrets.
There's no competitive spirit, I think.
No, there's either no competitive spirit or there's no second redemption.
Oh, that's true. We were talking about that last time as well. It's kind of meh.
Ooh. Actually, you
Double
might just
Wrath.
not play around redemption, and it might just kill that with 2 wraths.
Yeah.
I think that's the play.
That could be the play, yeah.
Could that be the play? If you hit that with 2 wraths, you can maybe swipe it later.
I mean, he hasn't seen a single redemption yet. That's the thing. Like, he doesn't know. Like, the redemption in RDU's hand is still a secret tech.
It's 4 secrets, so Hype knows something is weird. He doesn't have to see redemption to know something's missing from this equation.
Yeah, it's in RDU's hand, but like, how can you even eliminate one without trying everything and just messing up at some stage?
Yeah, you just have to guess and hope you're right 20% of the time.
Yeah. So you just kind of vomit the double wrath and hope something
It looks like he's going to.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy about it though. Look at his face. He's like struggling to enjoy what's happening.
Wait, was that a cycle pick?
Might have been, but I don't think so. Alright, if there's no double redemption for RDU, then he's gonna have to play the shield mini bot.
I think he doesn't attack anymore. Oh, there's no redemption! Dr. Six countered.
Wow.
Alright, so shield mini bot, redemption, divine favor draws 1 card. Avenge was not what RDU was looking for.
I think you might want to save Divine Favor after maybe a lore. I mean, the Drew's at 28. Whenever lore gets drawn, it's drawn 2 cards. You want to keep up with that.
Yeah. And the interesting thing here is that there's a repentance. So, you know, Dr. Boom's not going to do nearly as much as Hype needs it to, but he has the edge as far as the minion quality coming forward. So
yeah, his top decks are going to be a lot better going forward.
exactly. Like RDU stands to maybe get another Mysterious Challenger, but he's going to get what? 2 secrets at the most, maybe 1 even.
It's going to come down to how big this Divine Favor is going to be in this game.
I don't think I'd mind the Innervate Hero Power here.
To kill a 1/1. But he would have had to attack into Noble Sack last turn in order to justify it, which he didn't do. So
You're right.
Ah, Shredder, sweet.
No sack deck would have been pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't attack, but
He just ran out of time.
maybe that's possible.
No, I think that's exactly it.
But
he did run out of time.
What if there? Yeah, I mean, what could have been the worst case scenario? Nothing really, because there's no redemption, so nothing bad can happen out of it. Ripboard. Nah, Hype looks confused. Oh, this is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, Lore would actually give Hype, like if he plays Lore and innervates something afterwards, it's pretty good. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
this is actually a pretty good draw here. He can get rid of this board if he wants to.
Has he triggered redemption yet?
No, I think he's going to attack. It's going to trigger Redemption,
And Noble
Avenge,
Sack.
and
Get down.
And Get Down.
Yeah, and then he's
So
gonna go
The
for-
Get Down is going to spawn again. It's going to be another 2/1 on the board.
Then he silence innervate swipe.
He needs Avenge to hit on the Shredder. Then he silences the Shredder and swipes the Shredder.
Yeah, and then he actually probably wins the
It's
game.
It's a 50-50, basically win the game.
Yeah. Eliminates everything off the board.
Yeah, he clears the board, clears all the secrets, and has no hand for RDU's Divine Favor.
Well, that seems to be the play he's going to go with here as well.
50-50.
Here we go.
If it hits on the dude, it's a lot worse, by the way.
Yeah, because they kill the Shredder, the Keeper, and then you're going to take 8 damage from that minion. I mean, you could always
Does
just...
it go on? No.
I mean, you can still ping... Yeah, you can still silence it off, sorry, and go for the innervate swipe anyway, because you can contest that dude. It'll be on 2 health after swipe.
Yeah, it looks like what he's going to do here.
Is he silencing? Or just pinging? I guess pinging makes sense, yeah. Now, 1 dead card in RDU's hand if he picks up the second divine... Oh my god!
My
That
God.
is really
Amazing.
bad for RDU.
This is
That is amazing.
What is even happening?
Oh no, he can Divine Favor! Double Secret Divine Favor. It gives him 2 spells.
Oh my god, Crip! Does RDU see it? Does RDU see it?
That's the play. Like, you have to cycle to your next Divine Favor. You don't care if you give him cards.
You don't care if you give him secrets? How do
No.
you diffuse them?
Okay, well,
With Low Walker Cho?
what? You have a weapon for the Noble Sack.
Yeah, you can trigger it now, but then Avenge buffs the...
You can't trigger now because you won't play it.
No, next turn, yeah.
Yeah, next turn.
But how do you deal with... Well, here we go. What a clown fiesta.
Hype
That-
is like,
that's
are you
actually
kidding
it.
me right now? He knows what's happening.
Yeah,
He knows RDU is getting the only Divine Favor he ever would have gotten.
yeah. And he's gonna find another one. Just look, another secret with another
No, he's just
divine-
hoping to draw minions to play out his hand to
Of
make
course.
Hype's Divine Favor useless.
Yeah, exactly. To negate what Hype wants to do. And that 4 mana is very likely he picks up exactly... Yeah, there we go.
Minion.
Curve.
Or do you want to play that spell?
Yeah, no.
You don't want to do that one.
No.
Not worth it. Not worth it ever.
He's going to hold on to this. I thought he might have it. There might be a chance that he holds on to Abusive Sergeant so he can get his Low Walker Cho to run into something maybe at some point in time to get it off the board.
Didn't cheat the... Because he's getting another Light's Justice.
Alright, not too bad. Not too bad.
The mind games. Do you just charge the Druid into Cho? Do you know there's Noble Sack? You can't. Oh my god, this is horrible. You have to like Hero Power, attack into it, trigger Avenge, then use Drill of the Claw to kill something. Wow. RD might actually just do this.
Yeah, Hype knows exactly which 2 of the secrets they are too because they go to his hand.
Yeah, usually try to troll people with that on ladder. It never works, but this is kind of my dream tournament.
You just love all the crazy RNG stuff. Like when Low Worker Cho comes out, you get excited, right?
Yeah, like I'm not excited when Zapomatic comes out because I think it's like too straightforward.
Mhm.
But I get excited when Lore Walker Cho does. Yeah, and that guy's cool.
Yeah, Lore Walker really spices up the game.
I think we need to have like Pandaren Shredder, which always drops Cho.
That's a pretty good idea, actually. We need like a muster for battle for Lore Walker Cho.
Yeah, that'd be
Play 3 Lore Walker
two,
Chos
3
together.
Chos right away. It's like 7 mana, and it's called Break the Game.
You would burn away like your entire deck in the next 2 turns.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
think, no, he's just not going to trigger the secrets. So he builds up a hand that RDU cannot draw.
Uh-oh. Will that work out? I don't know.
What does already
play
have
it.
left?
He might have a
left.
one
He might
secret
have
left.
one left. Yeah.
He actually might not have many cards left.
Yeah.
By the way,
What's
because
his?
he divine favorite, he cycled in the secrets
This
from the
challenger.
previous. Yeah, he's got 10 cards left. This will pull at least like 1 or 2.
I think one, maybe.
17.
Yeah, but he's
I
winning the
think he
long
only-
game though.
Yeah, I think you only have 1 left.
None of your business.
0.
Zero,
Yeah,
okay,
he's
yeah.
playing like a very
No,
low.
it might be just another noble sack,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because that's the 3rd noble sack. That was chode twice. It's complicated.
Yeah. Right. You can't actually understand.
Oh, you
what's
can't
happening.
give him Savage Roar. No, you
No,
can't do
there's
that.
no way Savage Roar. Yeah.
No.
Suicide. This is over. The 6/6 actually makes this really awful for hyped. Because it's bigger than anything.
Oh, so he's gonna draw 4 cards here?
Is he hoping to find a swipe? No, he's already played 2 swipes, right? Is there a swipe left?
Yeah.
Is there a swipe? He has 5 draws to find a swipe. Does he have a
No, he's
swipe?
played 2
I
swipes.
think he played 2 swipes.
Uh-oh.
Rip.
Well, you definitely don't wild growth. Okay, I guess you wild growth. Why do you wild growth?
Because it's actually pretty cool.
So it's like impossible for him to divine favor you.
Oh, he might just play. Oh, you know what? There's a potential like mill because you always get more cards with Wild Growth than you actually can dump. Because you're giving it to your opponent. He gets like 1 excess mana plus Wild Growth and then another excess mana.
Okay. Did Hype just kill himself?
I think he did. Yeah. I think that's over.
Hype is not in his chair right now. RDU's jaws dropped.
I concede to you. RDU with the win. Match point for Nihilum after this. Lore Walker show makes this a pretty interesting. He's pretty happy about this game. It was pretty fun.
I feel like Hype was doing fine
Until
up until they gave him Savage Roar. Turns out Paladins don't have a card that does that.
I don't know, man. Like, if you think about the 6/6 on the board, I don't know if Hype was actually fine. Because the 6/6 alone killed the Druid of the Claw.
Well, he just had combo in his deck. Paladin was at like 20.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
how
He's
that's
not
how
gonna
Druid wins games.
Right.
He's
I
not
guess-
gonna have a board left over after that turn.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a problem.
yeah, RDU is going to attack down his board there. You know, the 6/6 is going to take care of the Druid of the Claw. And he's going to be able to just trade in and hopefully just win from there.
The moment you pop Noble Sack, another one comes out.
Yeah. So
It's,
that was a crazy game. Just Low Walker Cho, like every time it comes out, the games are never normal after that.
I should
I
like
think
this
Lord
game.
Walker Show actually won the game for RDU.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
getting
did,
the
it
Divine
did.
Because
Favor.
all he had were 2 junk secrets
Yeah.
and divine favor on
Yeah.
0 cards.
Yeah, let him upgrade into like actual spells.
Yeah, it let him upgrade. It let him cycle into the actual cards that did stuff.
Yeah, I mean that was. I mean, you know, he was very unhappy when it came out, and then realized, yeah, well, actually, this card did just kind of win me the game from here.
Right.
Yeah. No other card would have had anywhere near that kind of impact from that spot.
Well, okay, here comes Life Coach. Again, not a favored win against the Druid, but
I don't even believe this.
I think he's okay against the Mage. I think it is very close to 50%.
The thing is,
You gotta win. He's got 2 tries.
Yeah,
Life Coach can do it, right?
even at like a 40% win rate, you might be able to get one out of this. Statistically, I think at 40% win rate, you're still going through theoretically,
Right.
going in. So like even Druid being bad doesn't really make this impossible to win, especially since the Fire War Axe, the Aspirance's a problem,
Mhm.
but the Fire War Axe negates
Well,
that right away, and sometimes that's a dead card.
40% win rate is great.
Yeah.
40% win rate, 2 tries is what? Like 64% chance
Yeah,
to
it's
win.
actually
That's
like
pretty good.
Yeah, it's way good. There's no reason for him to be afraid of losing this. Plus, Life Coach
He
is
just
very
gotta
good.
take his time, play his best. That's what
Yeah.
Life Coach does.
Do you think he has the best animation before the game of all the players in the tournament? I think he might have.
Yeah.
I think he has the best animation in the game.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just Life Coach's face.
yeah.
Just puts Hearthstone on such an intense level that like no other player's face does for
Yeah.
me.
He is the incarnation of wizard poker, I think.
He was, a poker player before this, and played a lot of like heads-up poker, where you play one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if he did like the same thing. If he roped in.
That's how
if
he
roped in
wins. He
poker.
just intimidates you with that face.
He takes 3 minutes on every decision, and you eventually just tilt off on the other side.
Do you want to pay the blind? Let me think.
You do think most of the time.
Yeah. 3 minutes on the 3 minutes on the blind is pretty next level.
Yeah, it's just at some point in time, if you take that long for decisions in any game, you run into what's called like circular logic. You're just back to the original thoughts that you had, and you're not actually progressing anywhere.
Hearthstone does that a lot, I find, just because it's a card game, and if you go one step too far, you're back to where you were a second ago, in your thinking process. So.
All right. Well, I think Hype is a little bit of an emotional player, so let's see if that last really weird game actually affects this one.
He's got a pretty good hand though against Warrior. If no Fire War Axe gets picked up, I can foresee Hype getting this one. Really,
I love the lag on Life Coach's camp.
Yeah, it was so
it's
good.
The best.
Yeah. Look at this photo of
He's Super Saiyan mode is happening right now. Oh god.
Oh my god.
He's got
I feel like I've already lost against Life Coach.
Yeah.
It makes him. He's already super intense. It makes it even more intense, but he's just frozen halfway through.
There's a secret Paladin on the Druid side of the board. That can't be right, unless it's still there from the last game because it's really
Lord Walker showed us some magical stuff.
But the Fire War Axe from Life Coach, he had one mulligan or two, I think, one mulligan, I think, to get it. Considering Hype's hand is definitely solid.
Life Coach's hand, I think, is really, really a lot better than Hype. Even though Hype has the Innervate plays for some really cool stuff, the Fire War Axe counters that, and Life Coach has a lot of redraws off the Acolyte and the rest of his hand. So really the only thing that's kind of not going Life Coach's way is the fact that he doesn't have the coin, which is usually an advantage in this matchup, I feel.
So they're changing this to a picture, which looks a lot less daunting.
What?
Yeah,
it looks pretty much the same to me.
It does it? Are you that scared? Are you scared of this guy as the guy who actually goes Jedi mind stands on you?
I mean, they're both so intimidating.
Well,
how do you choose?
Here, Hype type's thinking, do I want to test a Fiery War Axe and then play nothing? I think maybe he should do that next turn.
Yeah, with the Innervate and keep the coin, right?
No, not just that, because it's not that likely that Life Coach will just play the Fire War Axe on 2 for no reason. So if you do wait until next turn...
You're screwing up the curve
a bit. The curve a little bit. He doesn't have a 3-drop.
Well, do you just wait to Druid with the Claw as well, and you can just make a 4/6 and get in a lot more damage that way?
Cruel Task Execute would punish you, but that's about the only
answer
thing.
the warrior can have, right?
Yeah, it's a little.
I just feel if you save the coin, you kind of make it so you won't have too many bad turns in the future. Yeah. Innervate's actually more clunky than coin in a lot of cases.
Yeah, because you feel like you're not saturating properly sometimes.
So I think no play is the play.
Yeah, I definitely like shreddering next turn if you're going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Is it shreddering or shredding?
Probably shredding, actually. Well,
depends, because it's a shredder.
Shredder here. Yeah. He gives Life Coach a pretty nice play.
He's happy.
And again, we are in a situation where the Shredder gods might be kind or cruel.
Lore Walker Cho.
You just want to watch the world burn, don't you?
No, I want to watch I want to watch the world trade spells and be kind to each other.
That sucks.
Well,
good old Lance carrier.
Stop poking me.
Well, you did do some face damage. That was important, but
that was important. Yeah, it was important.
If the Innervate play doesn't stick, it usually doesn't really accomplish much.
I mean, yeah, because look at what his next 2 turns are going to be. He's going to be hero powering.
Life Coach, I've seen a lot of players in a position like exactly this one play the frothing and kill the minion that comes out.
Oh god!
But the 3 damage.
So many cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of the tempo frothing berserker that you've seen way more popular lately out of Grim Patron, because you can just steal a game a lot of times. Otherwise, they have to play weirdly.
Look at those whirlwind effects, and I think you can just wait until turn 6.
Yeah, in this game, I think you can just wait. I'm saying in general, I'm a big fan of that.
I think you attack with the Acolyte, and then you just play the Ghoul, I think.
Yeah, so you would never enrage the Acolyte for 2 draws right now?
I think with how this game is going, there's a chance your Ghoul stays alive until turn 6 and kills the Druid.
Wow, alright, I could see that,
with the Warsong Frothing.
That makes sense.
I think that's what he's going over right now, if he actually wants to take that line of play. It doesn't seem like obviously the best. It might not even be the best, but I think it's an option that he's considering.
The whirlwind right now, that would be so sick, but I don't think it would work out the way he wanted to. Maybe just attack.
Well, I think Inner Rage was better if he played it first, and he didn't, so...
Yeah, so he's getting his opponent a good swipe, if there is one, but there isn't one.
It's not a great swipe, you get him 2
Yeah.
cards.
It's alright, right? Like, you're gonna take it if it shows up. Or wouldn't you?
Hype's in a lot of trouble right now. I don't...
Do you just have to silence the Frothing Berserker here?
Oh, God.
It's, like, pretty bad, but you gotta be worried that you're gonna be taking, you know, upwards of 10 of it from it next
Silence the
turn.
Frothing and run in your 1/1 into it.
Yeah, to deny the Acolyte card draw, but then your Keeper of the Grove dies to War Axe plus Acolyte, which makes the whole thing even worse.
But then you start to scale a little bit better, hopefully.
Yeah, I think
from
so.
there.
I
Like,
really think so.
You start playing, you know, a 5-drop into hopefully a good board for you, you know, with Emperor on turn 6 and then Ancient of Lore on turn 7 plus maybe something else.
Yeah, you can also Druid of the Claw charge if you really need to kill the Frothing next turn, let's say. So there's that possibility where you just silence off.
That sets up so it won't be
the
trading
Acolyte
at
or
the time.
something.
You know,
Yeah.
you have to keep your Druid of the Claw at least.
I don't know. Let's see what Hype decides to do. The Innervate play early on was really all in on the assumption that the opponent didn't have Fiery. Otherwise, it was going to get punished without a follow-up. Yeah, he does that. All right. Yeah, that was the other play that I was
This
considering.
is an unbelievable amount of damage.
Yeah, it's pretty much... With Slam here, it's pretty much it.
No, it's not even Slam. You can Warsong Commander,
Ghoul?
then play Ghoul, and then Inner Rage the Ghoul to have a Whirlwind effect.
And you
And
pop
if your
it.
Frothing didn't die this turn, it probably won't die next turn.
I think the Frothing, being a like pretty high amount of attack is fine
You
enough.
think just
Yeah.
Whirlwind
Well-
and Inner Rage here is good enough?
No, I like the way he's playing this. He's going to play around Druid of the Claw this turn
Just
as much
use
as he
nothing.
can.
He might play Ghoul
Yeah,
here.
he's going to play Ghoul behind
Yeah,
this and
exactly.
play around Druid of the Claw. Oh, maybe not.
Life Coach does what Life Coach does. I think he's setting up for really...
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Picked up Emperor Thor.
This is probably a loss for Tempo Storm.
Well, not quite. It's not over. I mean, he's forced into Druid of the Claw or Swipe top deck. Yeah, definitely Druid of the Claw charge. There's no question about that.
Yeah,
And that's what he needs to come back. And he's going to have to force, though, to kill
Yeah,
the
he's
Emperor.
going to have to trade his Force of Nature for Emperor here, and Life Coach is going to get a full trigger from it with a Warsong Commander and, you know, Battle Rages and stuff in his hand.
Oh
And this
my
is just-
god.
This is looking worse and worse for Hyped.
Hype could actually really benefit from a swipe draw here.
Yeah, definitely. It would really give him the opportunity to keep a win condition as opposed to just losing straight up. Swipe would be good.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I think you might just Emperor here.
Just Emperor and Hope.
Yeah. Because if you Emperor, you affect your own combo. You develop a win condition from a stage where you're just not going to make anything happen.
Yeah, you can get a Savage Combatant to be really cheap and maybe have it kind of rule the board for a while if you get to that kind of state. You know, if Life Coach has like all combo pieces in his hand.
I mean, you're kind of forcing him to have Death's Bite, but if he does, you give him another trigger on Emperor, and then how do you come back from that? But then again, maybe you have to take that risk.
Yeah.
I feel like, the Innervate plays on turn 1, the Innervate coin into something. I've seen that play backfire way too much, especially against decks like Priest, where they have Shadow Word Pains or Shadow Word Deaths on some of the bigger ones, or a weapon coming from Warriors or an Execute.
Yeah, like him Emperoring here would be consistent with the way that he played the game on turn 1. You know, the kind of just move in. And, you said he's an emotional player. You have to wonder if, like, what happened in the last game maybe affected him just kind of maybe, like, YOLOing a little bit.
That's game, right? Like, not right now necessarily if he doesn't want to take it. I imagine he will, because he's got Inner Rage
I think you'll
Whirlwind.
save one turn to do a Battle Rage, probably.
Really? Inner Rage sounds like pretty... Like, Inner Rage Whirlwind, so it's pretty sweet with a Battle Rage on the back end.
Oh, Battle Rage now? I see, that's interesting.
Yeah. You can even play the Armor Smith if you want, because why not? More armor is always good.
Well, why didn't you play it first?
But
Yeah, he just, like, missed a point of armor, but...
Life Coach misplayed.
Yeah, he gave little...
The grin, the acknowledgement that Twitch chat is probably screaming at the top of their lungs, bad coach, bad coach.
Yeah, missed a point of armor. Yeah.
Alright. Well, that's 4 cards.
Was that turn good?
That turn was fair.
Yeah, it was fair.
Fair?
Yeah.
I don't know about fair. I know about good. I don't know about fair, though.
Damn. What do you do?
I concede to you.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's always that option.
Yeah. Is there some option with like a spell damage swipe? That
There's a possibility that like he goes Ancient of Lore into a top deck that lets him pick up, say, Archer Drake into swipe, but you don't have the mana to play it, so you'd have to also get the Innervate off the top. So it's like 3 cards back to back
Yeah,
that
I think
maybe
you have to
win
draw
the game.
into a spell damage swipe, Innervate.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Okay.
Is this over? Warsong Commander, Frothing Ghoul. He can probably make that happen if he attacks with the
What
Armor
is lethal?
Smith.
It's like lethal.
This is lethal.
He's got lethal on board?
5.
No, but he has a frothing with charge.
Yeah,
he
that's
has,
what I'm saying.
He has 15 power in play right now. Plus, he's going to get to replace one of his patrons after a Frothing
Absolutely
Berserker.
no way that life coach doesn't finish the game here.
Yeah.
He can even
Create
shield
extra
slam
space.
something for 1 extra face damage.
Yeah, just creates a little extra space for himself here. This Unstable Ghoul is going to trigger a bunch of patrons and make this Frothing Berserker way more than lethal.
Yeah.
And we have the comeback.
Life Coach finishing it up for Nihilum, who were seemingly out of it. It looked like the Shaman would never go through.
But really, if you think about it, the Shaman did better than Eloise's Mage deck.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they
The
kept it for the
Shaman
last.
in this round went
1-2, right?
1 and 2,
Yeah.
and the Mage deck went 0-3.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, it's fun to kind of
Yeah,
talk
but
about
it's
and make fun of these
interesting.
decks that do horribly.
Yeah.
But in smaller instances, sometimes things just don't work out.
Yeah.
And yeah, that really was the big fall for Tempest Storm. They were monstrously ahead. It didn't seem there was any hope this Shaman deck could win, but it did. And it was Eloise's Mage that really took the fall.
Yeah.
It finally didn't draw the second Lava Burst in a game. It seems that, that might have been able to get him to win the game if he finally got to actually
who's in
have
that door?
it.
Oh my God, who's that?
Who's in that door? Oh, who's in that
Alright,
door?
well,
I'm
we
not in
have
that door.
the 2 Nihilum players who are here at the event. We
Yes.
have Life Coach and Theiss going to give us some words. All right.
You're giving me? Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, you've been honored to do the interview.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Get in.
I'm Slim.
You're gonna be fine. The wound will heal.
I don't know. I can do it.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay, I guess I'll stay in the middle. I'll just like turn around.
Oh, we're standing? Yeah, okay. Cool.
All right. So congratulations, first of all. That must have been a relief, I guess, like winning the match, considering how it started off. I mean, yesterday was really rough. Watching RDU go with like the really, Mech Shaman losses back to back. How did you guys feel about the deck after yesterday? Do you still think it's fine, or that just had bad draws?
I think the deck is still pretty fine. We had some really rough games with it.
Yeah.
So, like, mech decks are always really aggressive. Maybe the meta changed here a bit, and we didn't expect every card loss being popular here, but it did its work today. So
Yeah, it worked out.
And let's hope it's just gonna do its work.
Yeah. Did you talk to RDU a bit? Is he like relieved?
I guess he's really.
He
happy.
must be, right?
Yeah, he is really happy about
Yeah.
it.
So
So I also heard something about 12 lava bursts in 6 games.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not the best draws, I'd say.
he's had a really rough streak of draws with it.
Yeah.
Your Mech Mage, however, has been doing great. We haven't seen much Mech Mage in the past. I guess before the Grand Tournament came back in. What brought you to bring Mech Mage to the event?
Well, actually, we were expecting like certain classes, and Mech Mage seemed to be a quite okay choice. Like, actually, to be honest, like it was like, of course, not one of the top choices, but we were actually choosing it over a different deck, basically. The same goes for Mech Shaman,
Okay,
of course. Yeah.
Got it. All right, so you were just targeting a specific line. Did it work out? Like, do you think the classes that you predicted would see play?
Yeah, that was okay.
All right, sounds right. So you're going to be going off against Value Town afterwards a little later. So we're going to have the winners match, the loser of the winners match, and the winner of the losers match, which is Nihilum versus Value Town. It's going to be important because that way you're going to be able to get to second seed place for tomorrow, which is going to guarantee that you don't have to bother going through one extra match. So yeah, I wish you good luck on that front, and keep being good at Patron.
Yeah. Good. Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
All right, so we'll be taking a break. I was just not told that I would do the interview, so I guess I'll just kind of segue into the break. I have no idea, so we'll be back in 15 minutes, I think. Amaz can confirm that. Yep, he does. All right, well, we'll be right back. I'm a clown.